Look around, leaves are brown, and the sky is a hazy shade of winter. A hazy shade of winter. Look around, leaves are brown, and the sky is a hazy shade of winter. A hazy shade of winter. And the sky is a hazy shade of winter.
Who wants to do the recap?
I can do it again.
Okay. No one volunteered. Next time y'all hesitate like that, I'm gonna pick somebody.
Oh, sorry, my character sheet was
That's fine.
loading this entire time. It finally just loaded.
It's fine. Let's get it,
I'm a
Will.
little concerned.
All right. So we start in this Regheds sanctuary, discussing about how we're going to get at this dragon's treasure. As we're discussing this, Illican scouts out ahead, goes around this ledge, and finds this large statue of a Remoraz with all these symbols on there. And it seems to be some sort of puzzle. As he touches it, he sees some of these symbols, these hieroglyphs start to light up on the scale. He comes back as we are discussing this, informs us what he found. We all kind of go investigate. And pretty quickly, Quintus puts two and two together and figures out how to solve it. As it does, it gives everyone within the area this fancy boon that we can get freedom of movement, and it drops a key in the shape of a kinjal out of its mouth, which we pocket, not that we need it anymore. We go back to discussing the get rich quick scheme, talk about whether or not it's going to attract any Remoraz, but ultimately decide like, hey, it might not be a bad thing if we do, because we kind of want to kill one to impress these Regheds. So we begin to excavate this stuff by having the shield guardian just punching the ground as we remove the ice and try to help melt it. And as we're doing that, Quintus, who's overseeing this whole operation, notices these little maggot things start to crawl out of the ground. Sees one pop out, sees two pop out, sees three. We start trying to harvest their acid, but pretty quickly realize that's probably detrimental to ourselves to do that. As Gabar just starts blasting them, but ultimately he's like, dang, I'm getting overwhelmed as these things start pouring out of these holes. We excavate a good amount of treasure at this point, including some diamonds worth 500 gold pieces and a ruby worth 5,000 and a strange dwarven scroll tube. But all this fancy ore, all these, gems and such. But all of a sudden, these ink kegs just bust out of these holes and begin to flood the thing. Chaos ensues, just pure chaos, as this is just a horde mode from what's that, Gears of War.
Oh,
Sure.
sure.
They just start coming
Yeah.
out faster and faster
Absolutely.
and harder, and bigger ones and stronger ones and acid breathing ones and flying ones all just start coming out. We just straight up panic mode. Gabar managed to get the diamond out of there to Illican so we can get some Revivify going, but that's about all he can salvage. And as we are overran, we decide it's time to bail. We run out of the cave. We try to cover our tracks any way that we can. Shield Guardian gets left behind, but only momentarily. And as we exit the cave into the frozen wasteland, we notice the ground beneath us start rumbling as one, and then two, and then three Remoraz pop out of the ground all around us. Freaking out, we're like, oh crap, it's time to go. When Quintus or Illican picks up this rhythmic, thumping, doom, boom, boom, that starts to draw away the Remoras, and they all go back into the ground, and we see on a hill this figure covered in furs and drapery holding up some sort of long pole arm, motioning for us to come his way. We all hoof it over to him, and he basically tells us, follow me, as we start going through the tundra away from the cave mouth, not too far off though, to this rocky outcropping with this, crack in it. And he flings himself in, and we all follow him in and realize this is kind of where he's made his home. He's got a fire in there. It's this little cave. He's got carcass of that deer-like creature. I can't think. Caribou hanging up. And he starts motioning to us in hand gestures, unable to communicate with him. V tries to talk in his head, and he's like, "Get the hell out, dude. What are you doing in here?" Quintus tries to talk to him using tongues, but he doesn't seem to want to talk back. So we have to have this weird, Quintus says something, he writes it down, and Gabar translates it back to Quintus, who says something else to him, before finally Sapphira's like, screw this, and then busts out the Jihad Kila so she can speak to him. He sees this, is in reverence of it, basically saying that this belonged to the Delima Amaya Sophia, who is a warrior leader, king or queen. And this belonged to the great rider of the great Remoras, one of the most powerful ones. Quintus tries to explain what we're doing here, that we're trying to end the windless night, trying to find the course away in the Alice solstice. This man who's named Tariq says that basically what we want to do is speak with the Sadiq tribe, who is luckily not too far from here, but will likely kill any outsiders. He explains that he was exiled from his clan because the four tribes are kind of warring with each other. And he can't approach the tribe. They won't accept him as one of their own. So he needs us to convince the leader of the Sadiq tribe to accept him as one of them so that he can reintegrate himself into society. And we need him to lead us there. So he explains a little bit of the history of the tribes, and kind of there's the four tribes, the Lahab, the Sadafa, Kalb, and the Sadiq. And luckily the Sadiq is the most peaceful, but still will kill us all if we show up without him. We decide that is about as good a plan as we're going to get. And I think that's about where we ended it.
I think so.
I don't have anything after that.
I think you guys decided you were going to take a long rest in his little cave thing. So we open up with this rock formation, this little like rock, couple of rocks falling on each other, and there's this sort of crag, and you can see the torchlight or the campfire lights were spilling out, and the darkness overhead, the aurora sort of goes overhead. We get an image of the shield guardian who's standing outside, and his little robo head like looks up at the aurora, just sort of stares at it. And the camera gets a closer view of the shield guardian's body, right? He had just run out of the sanctuary, being covered in acid in lots of places. And, you guys had noticed that he was like smoldering, and there's holes through his like stony armor, and he's got like wooden legs, and there's deteriorating. And as he sort of stands there, a like stone sort of panel goes out over his arm and retracts again, and it heals him as if he can fix himself. And he just sort of self-heals as he sits there and watches the aurora. And we pan past him into the cave where we see the party. Now, do you guys want to do anything before you take a long rest?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I know I said that I just grabbed the diamond, but I actually do think I grabbed the dwarven scroll and the ruby worth 5,000.
I believe so as well.
Yeah. So I would like to bust out this scroll and see what's good with it.
Make an Arcana check. Did I not tell you what it was already?
I don't have it written down, and I don't
Does anybody?
remember.
Can anyone confirm? No.
I
Okay, then
didn't
maybe
have
not.
anything.
Confirm
yeah.
confirm what now?
What the scroll was? The dwarven scroll that was in
Let's
the.
see what I wrote down.
Yeah, because I may have said it already, and there won't be a need for a check. But if not, then we can make a check, and then or an identify or something. We'll make it work.
Yeah, I just have written here. One of the loot was a strange dwarven scroll tube.
Just off the top of your head, why don't you, Gabar, give me an Arcana check to see if you can sort of understand what this scroll is supposed to be.
That's a 15. I should have
15.
an advantage.
That's actually not bad. I think that beats what I wanted to set for the DC. So, let me look up the spell.
I figure if it's a 5th level spell.
So, so it's so it, as you open it up, you realize it is a very strong spell held within. But what's strange about it is you can see these sort of dwarven runes, but they're drawn in a sort of sharp, fucking dirty, kind of nasty looking text, right? And as you sort of read over it, you don't read dwarven, right? Okay, so I will say that you wait, didn't you have comprehend languages up?
I mean, I did to
How long
speak
does
with
it
Tariq
last?
an hour. I probably would have looked at it shortly after the conversation.
We'll say that's fine. Okay, so I will say, without being able to read Dwarvish, that there are symbols of necromancy on the scroll. But as you read through it, you realize that it's a sort of spell that wreathes your body in shadow, as it is the Shadow of Moil spell. It like breathes you in shadow, and anyone that like hits you or something, yeah, they take damage.
It's like fire shield.
Yeah.
What level is it?
4th.
Wow. That's a fun one.
I used a loot generator for the Dragon's Sword, so I thought it was cool. I was like, oh, that's just very strange. It doesn't make any sense. I love it. It's perfect.
Oh yeah, and the ruby is 5,000 gold pieces. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was all the man needed to take, really.
That's how I'm paying off my bounty.
All
Yeah.
right, so
10% of big smiles.
you realize that it is a sort of dark necromancy dwarf spell. There you go.
All right. I will just bring up that, be like, yeah, this spell scroll. It's weird. It's the scroll itself is powerful, but I don't know what the runes on it look like. Not your normal dwarven runes. It's weird.
Valin will sort of hover over your shoulder and say, is that necromancy?
Indeed.
My forte. And she'll like sort of peer over you and look at it.
Well, you got any more of them spell scroll parchments?
You don't have any more from when I gave you them last time?
Oh, you've been busy.
I may have one or two. Why don't you roll pick even or odd to get what you want?
I mean, okay, I'll odd. I still do have one left, but
She has some too.
she does have.
She does have some. You.
I'll just look over the rest of the party, be like, does anyone find any need for this? It's quite powerful, but for any of you, it'd be a one-time use kind of thing. Plus, I could really use them parchment sheets from Valin.
Your call, kid. Doesn't matter to me.
I was gonna just say give it to her, but if you got something you want out of it,
Excellent. We have an accord. How many sheets do you have?
I can give you. Make a persuasion check. Yeah, generous you feel.
It's the end of the day today.
Yes. I imagine you used your portents.
I did not.
Really?
I know. I was
Not
actually
that
that
big combat.
that last gunshot. I was thinking about using my
Okay.
15 portent, but
All right,
I rolled
all
the
right.
dice and it paid out. So yeah, I get a 16 for that
16. Okay. She'll offer 2.
deal. I'll hand her the scroll.
Oh, she gives you 2 pieces of parchment, and
Nice.
she will begin copying the spell into her spell book. I didn't mean for it to be my own reward, but here we are.
And the DM gets richer.
Yeah,
I just
didn't
don't
even
have
know-
enough 4th level spell slots to justify putting a 4th level spell in right now.
I didn't.
Thank you,
even know.
Jay. Oh, you're welcome, Jay.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it was a necromancy spell until I looked it up just now. All right, she'll take some time and copy that into her spell book. All right. Anything else you guys would like to do? Valen thinks that since they are relatively safe, since you're relatively safe in this little area, she's not going to do her dome.
fair enough.
All right. I think not really going to do a whole lot with this, but I'll just take a minute to just kind of look over the Jihad Kala once again.
Yeah. Cool.
Just having used it, and like this is basically the second time I've really used it. Just kind of like observing it again, just kind of like taking note of the craft.
As you sort of focus on it, I mean, it appears to be made from the spine of a Ramaras, right? Like one of those frills, you know. But it uses the whole thing, and it's warm to the touch. When you touch it, it's like has this sort of inner heat to it. Like the core within it is still hot, and you know, as you sort of focus on it, it's the same as like when you're attuning, just a little bit of black smoke sort of just rises off of it like an ice cube. You know, when an ice cube has that like mist that rises off of it, it's kind of like that, but it's this like black sort of mist that just rises off the object as you hold it in your hand.
Is this like, I don't know, could I like make a, I'm not really going to work, but could I make like a religion check in order to kind of like, or some sort of check in order to like identify this or determine the nature of this thing, what it's doing right now?
I'll allow a what you want to make religion because it's better, because I would rather you do arcana, but if religion's better, I'll allow it.
None of them are good.
Well, whichever one's better. Okay. Well, since it was a 20 at one point, I'll give you that you have the feeling that this object holds within it the living spirit of the woman that he mentioned before, this queen, whatever her name was. It sounded awful lot like
Delima?
Sapphira. Yeah, the Delima.
Yeah, Sophia.
Sophia, yeah. So you like realize that her like actual spirit is within this item. It never left the mortal plane.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
I guess
and
things start making a bit more.
Activating the staff sort of invokes the spirit, like fucking brings it forth, right? Otherwise, it just stays in the staff. So that's why while you're meditating with it, it sort of radiates outwards as if asking you, "Hey, do you want to summon me?" Right.
At that point, she will put it back down gently and say, "Not right now. I could use you for later." But yeah, just good to know what exactly the nature of this thing is.
Absolutely.
Since she hasn't really done that too much already.
Anybody else? Are we taking a watch?
Ooh, do we?
Probably should still.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah, might as well. I guess a Remoraz could burst up out of the ground at any second.
You do have the shield guardian and sonar that stay awake during the night, but you guys are more than welcome to take a watch. Who wants first?
Big Small can go first.
Stay up
All right.
with a big smile.
What is Tariq doing?
I'll get to that in a second. What did you just say, Gabar?
I'll stay up with big smile.
Next.
Yeah, I'll go next.
I can take a watch too.
All right. Well, why don't Illican and V take a watch?
Sure.
We can do one more or two more, depending on what you
One.
guys want. Okay, Sapphira.
I'll take the last of them.
Okay, Sapphira and then Quintus. Okay. All right. So while you guys are like talking or doing whatever you're doing, Valin's copying down her spell with a candlelight or whatever. Tariq, this Reghed warrior, has not removed his goggles or his face mask or his hood or really anything revealing. He also has big gloves on and stuff. So like you're not even entirely sure what he looks like or the color of his skin. You haven't seen a lick of flesh on this guy. But he just sort of, while you guys are still awake, he just sort of, he gives you guys some food, treats some meat with some salt or something, and like does survival stuff. Maybe gathers some firewood or something that's from outside that he keeps out there and does the fire somewhere. He just like survives, doesn't speak to you, just survives. And the other thing is he hasn't eaten yet. Once the rest begins, you guys all sort of cuddle up and he makes sure that everybody has a spot to lay, right? He'll like move stuff out of the way or, take a big, rib cage of a dead, deer of some sort and move it away so that, people won't be having dead things dangling over their head. And you guys take a rest. Now, Big Smile and Gabar, you guys are on watch. While you guys are just chilling, if you want to do your thing, you can. However, Tariq has not gone to bed yet. While you guys are sort of on your watch, huddled together, Tariq will go off into the corner of this little cave, right? And he'll face the wall. He'll take a piece of meat that he has prepared for himself and remove his mask and, push back his hood and remove his goggles. And you can't see his face, but he keeps to himself and eats his food.
Just like elbow Gabar and gesture towards him.
Pretty weird guy. Just like keeps to himself the whole time.
Can we trust him?
About as trustworthy as they get out in the frozen tundra, I guess. He did save us.
Yeah. Saved our bacon big time.
Yeah. I'd hope so. I mean, we're kind of. He seems hospital. Gave us food as long as it's not poisoned.
Guess we'll find out tomorrow.
You guys want to see if you can get a peek, see at what he looks like?
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of like people watching right now.
Why don't both of you make perception checks?
What do I perceive? Ooh.
All right, I'll say Big Smile, you don't necessarily see directly, but you can tell that he has a chin beard, right? No mustache, but like a chin beard, and it's kind of long, and he has a light brown skin. Right? You can definitely tell that. However, I'll say Gabar, you catch like the fleeting glimpse as he like looks over his shoulder for a second. If he's just like thinking or whatever. He's not suspicious of you or anything, but you just catch the glimpse of a profile, right? And you could see over his eyes, down the side of his face onto his mouth, there is a gigantic scar that looks relatively fresh. I mean, it's massive. His whole side of his face has been torn off. You can see chunks of his lip are missing. And when he opens his mouth, there is no tongue.
Ooh. I see why we're getting to silent treatment. He's got no tongue. Part of his exile might have been taking it.
Damn. Had a couple molars knocked out in my day, but that's rough.
Yeah, his whole face seems pretty fucked up.
Wonder what he did to deserve it.
Maybe he cheated a lord of crime lord.
That's who takes their tongues, right? That's what they do.
Speaking of which, I as the Ankeg started flooding that place, I did manage to snag this ruby that might be worth a shiny gold piece or 5,000.
Maybe you can finally get that bounty off your head.
Nice down payment on yours too. Once this endless winter's over, maybe we just find our way back home.
Big Smile lets out like a pretty hefty sigh, like that's been weighing on him for a while now. I mean, if we're gonna get out, it seems so close sometimes, and then at the same time, it's so far away.
Been here for how many years?
Gotta be going on 2 now, maybe a bit longer.
I feel like I hate this place more with every day I'm here.
Yeah.
Soon, I came up here to get away from all that, and well, I'm happy I found you and the rest of the snowdrifters, but if we can end this endless winter and I can pay off my bounty, I'll be heading south, I think.
What would you do if you could go back? Bounty's paid off, you can do anything in the world. What would you go back to, Gabar?
My family used to work in the Red Dragon trading post. Maybe I'll go be a simple merchant. I'd be good at that.
Sounds easy enough. Probably drink on the job. Think it'll be right up your alley.
Don't have to get worried about getting eaten by remoras or abducted by alien illithids on spaceships.
As soon as you say that, Big Smile will kind of like soften the like little bit of a grim and just get like kind of like very quiet about it.
Yeah, you all right? I've noticed you're not all right, though.
Yeah. I felt it was shitty. I don't know what happened. It was gone for a long time and they did whatever they wanted, but I felt so bad. I feel like I let you down.
Me? Why? What?
I mean, all of those times I run in there first like an idiot is so you don't have to. And I come protect you when I was in that ship. Getting out and going back to the city and getting out of the endless winter, it just all seems so impossible all over again.
If anything, you were fun. You always done. I was expecting you to fucking run in there, start punching away. If anything, I let you down. I couldn't get you out of there fast enough. I see you jump in there every time, and I always hold that vortex warp ready every time, and that time I wasn't quick enough.
I know you do, buddy. Ruffle his hair a little bit. It was hell in there, Kabar, but I'm glad I'm back now.
It's good to have you back. It was a tough few days. I had to deal with the rest of the snow drifters without you there. It was really tough times. You never
Maybe
had
you
to.
had a-
You
got
never
it
had
worse
any
than me then.
loss. Oh,
So cute. That happens. Canon.
good to have you back, Big Smile. I just hope that you find some of that smile back that you lost in there.
Flash it real quick at Kabar and
There
go
it is.
turn to check something out because he's a big, strong man, and I walk away.
And I walk away.
Walk 3 feet away.
All right. Well, both of you guys can take an inspiration. That was beautiful.
Cheers.
And I think, during your conversation, Tariq would have concluded his meal, put back on his mask and his goggles, and with his back up against a wall and his sort of spear, this long pole arm, against his body, he will go to sleep. And he sleeps like the dead, bro. Like he fucking has his arms down by his side and his one arm on his chest, and he literally just sits up with his back against the wall and just sleeps like that with his head straight forward. Cool. So you guys watch is concluded. Illican and V, are there words you would wish to share?
Yes.
Are you there, V?
Give me a moment. If V is here.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm here. Okay, cool. We're good.
He is.
Let's see here. I'll start by just saying that Illican has been sleeping in his hybrid form ever since we went this far north.
Okay.
He seems a bit on edge. But
Is there a reason you haven't changed back to normal?
What?
wow, I mean I got the gist.
But
Well, I must say that I pride myself on how would I put it? Well, it's in my name, I suppose. They don't call me the storm chaser for nothing. Even as a boy, I would seek out danger in the wilds, and I prided myself on the fact that nothing scared me. But those Remorhas, when I saw one pop out of the ground, I thought maybe there was hope. But when the other two came, I realized that there are some fights that no amount of even my speed, not so much my strength, but even my speed could beat them. I doubt that if I were on my own, running away from them, even in my bare form, I would have been able to escape them. I felt completely powerless.
Well, I'm
you hear Nate? Nope. I'm sorry, Nate.
Cutting out.
You're cutting out
Nate is
so
a robot.
fucking bad, Nathan. I'm really sorry, buddy. Would you like to conclude this conversation when you actually get here? I'm gonna take it as a yes.
Illican sees that V is still.
We
in
cannot hear you,
withdrawal.
bro.
I feel like there's this scene from the D&D movie where he's just saying,
That's what's happening for real.
"Yeah, we can't hear Nate at
We
all."
can't hear
At
you,
least
Nate. I'm
I,
real sorry, buddy. I don't know. You mute.
This would be
I'm gonna mute him. I'll send him.
You know when your
We can
browser's
give you-
frozen, so you type a bunch of stuff into Google and then it shows up all at once.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, that was legendary delay. But
Nathan texted me and said 5 minutes, or I guess he sent it.
yeah, we could finish that. There were just like a few things I wanted to talk about, but nothing like too
All right.
important.
I do want to have it in a minute. We can always backtrack. This happens sometimes. Okay, for you guys finish your rest, having a very moving conversation. Sapphira, it's just you. There's everyone else is snoring around you. Sanara is sort of in his meditative stance, and the shield guardian's outside.
I'm still kind of like looking over at the Jihad Kala, and I kind of like look over it and I say, so there's somebody in there. Pretty cold weather. Right.
you try to speak with the Jihad Kala, and only a small amount of this sort of black mist floats off of it. It's more sort of a constant thing. That's all that happens.
Does it ever get lonely in there? Or are we like company enough? Am I keeping you like, I kind of just like have you kind of with the axe and everything kind of like on my back and everything. That doesn't like
Bother you?
I mean, it doesn't bother you, but like, do you have enough space?
You converse with the Jihad Kala. I'll give you an inspiration for that. That's really funny. You get no response throughout this entire thing. It doesn't speak, so you get no response, but you do feel a sort of sense of connection since you are attuned to it. So you do feel a slight connection, but it has no bearing on your emotions, or you don't get any sense from it.
I think at some point she realizes how dumb this all looks. Kind of like looks back to see if anybody's like awake, and then just kind of like looks back and says, good, great conversation.
And we fade out on Sapphira and fade up on Quintus. Quintus, are you doing anything?
He's just pacing like fucking Jack Torrance, trying to figure out how to parlay with these Regheds for the next day. And yeah, like just keeping an eye on like Tariq and outside and everything.
As you're like, racking your brain on what you want to do tomorrow, you catch like a breeze that comes from the crevice, right? This like sort of crack in the earth that you guys are down in. And you catch it like a hint of the breeze. It's freezing cold, right? You feel like you hear the clatter of chains, but it must be a figment of your imagination because it was so faint and so on the wind.
Yeah, he'll just put it out of his mind as the shield guardian outside.
Sure. All right. Quintus still being awake. Everybody's done with the rest, and you all wake up. Tariq is the first to rise. Quintus, you will acknowledge.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Are you good? You're gonna be good. Say the Pledge Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
Okay,
Can you hear me?
perfect. Yes. So we smash cut back to Illican and V. V, did you have a response? Do you remember what the last thing he said was?
Yeah, Illican, to summarize, Illican was talking about, like feeling powerless at the mandibles of the Remor has.
Yes. I said we've all been powerless on our own. None of us would survive any of the past few encounters we've had without each other.
Very true, my friend. when I was younger, I definitely spent perhaps too much time alone. I didn't learn the true value of teamwork, leadership, till my exile, to be honest. But I must say, perhaps not directly related to powerlessness, your abilities have drawn my interest after our experience at what was it called, the id ascendant. Such a place was
My abilities?
beyond my comprehension. Yes, it puzzles me. What was the magic you used? What did you say you were drawing from? There was a name.
I believe it is more commonly known as the weave. Though
is
I know
this?
not much of it myself. Honestly, I think Gabar might be the one that might have more knowledge about this than I, but it's more natural to me than me understanding it. Does that make sense?
I could say the same about my abilities, and yet we manifest them so differently. Your power seems just as alien to me as those who came in whatever that it ascended thing was coming from the sky. But I suppose this weave, perhaps we all draw from it. When we are working together, we are all calling upon this force, this will to change the world as we see fit. And I think you are right.
In a way, I believe that.
Yes, our power together is astounding as compared to our power individually. Not to play down any individual among us, but we must wield this power carefully. I think there will be great decisions to be made in the near future.
I promise I don't think I don't think there's any way that I can truly understand, but I can try my best. And I can give you my guarantee that as long as I'm in control of my own self, and we all are, then nothing terrible will happen, I hope.
Well, after seeing your display against Svederax, my doubts of you have mostly vanished, but suppose I'm thinking of the wider implications of it all. We are widely known in this region, and it seems many more count on us than we could have ever imagined. Not just my clan, but so many. Well, however we gained our abilities, though I was doubtful of yours. Please go ahead.
I just wanted to say I appreciate you saying that.
Yes, perhaps this is just my way of telling you that you have my complete trust now, V. I merely hope that we can all wield our power in the way we are meant to.
And hopefully do some good in this place.
Doing some good would be nice. Not just survival, but thriving. Protecting the lives that we hold so dear.
It seems like we are surviving right now. Trying to.
Yes, and dealing with these Regheds, well, things could go from smooth to rough very quickly. But
I agree. Regardless, you should be less on your toes. As long as we're together. And I don't foresee anything terrible happening to us.
yes, and this
We're more powerful together.
absolutely, and this one Tariq, of course, I don't trust him yet, but seems well enough to sleep around, show no cause for harming us, no ulterior motive. But his status among these Regheads, well, we will see the ramifications of that very soon. If it was anything like my homecoming, then, well, we shall see. But V, we shall see together.
Ugh. I agree. And if they admire your strength, then as long as you're with us, then I'm sure we have nothing to worry about.
These Reghed people do fascinate me.
Great.
But we can talk at that when I learn more about them. Still too much mystery. And I think that concludes the conversation.
I think that's it too. Yeah. V, anything else, or you're good?
No, that was pretty good.
Okay. Both of you can take inspiration. Nate, just remember when you get back to your character sheet. All right.
Mhm.
We all wake up.
I'm popping it now.
Today's date is, and I wait for Brenda to tell me what today's date is.
16th.
It can't be. I already have 16th written down.
I have 15th as yesterday.
I have the 16th as well because
Today, the 16th.
So did I
yeah.
change it
You might have preemptively changed it.
preemptively? Okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean, it was all the way up to this point. It was the 15th, so there was a lot that
Okay.
happened.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I have us being in Sanctuary on the 15th.
On the 15th. All right. So today is the 16th then. So you wake up on the 16th of Iliant, and Tariq is the first up, and he has already taken like a freaking nice. He has already taken a freaking oh yeah. Yeah, fucking V gets away with it. We see Tariq sort of grab like a couple of these hunks of meat and sort of strap them to his body. And he's gonna take some of this gear, his bedroll, roll it up, strap it to him, and he begins to like pack up this camp that he has and load it onto himself. Like he is now piled high with stuff. He even has a little side satchel, not satchel, it's like a leather strap that he uses to tie firewood onto himself. So he literally has like his bedroll, his pieces of these big hunks of meat, like a rib cage of some animal strapped to him, wrapped in fur or something like that. He's got his bedroll, everything that was in this camp basically is now strapped to his body.
And covering rules are going to be a bitch for that guy.
And and he sort of steps out of the cave and awaits for the rest of you to get out and go.
This guy reminds me of me when I was training about 85 years ago. All right, well, let's get going then.
So as you exit, you will see the normal sight that you usually see in the morning is 3 teams of dead dogs that are dead. And then Evelyn always every morning animates them, right? But she will like go out to animate them, and Tariq will like say, no, don't do that. If you recall, the night before he told you you need to walk.
Yeah.
How do you guys want to handle that?
Do you want to come back for these sleds later? Or are we loading up the dogs and dragging these sleds ourselves?
Lynn will say that she is not leaving her dogs behind, and that the shield guardian can probably take 2 of the sleds.
Me and the bear could probably pull the other one. Gesture to Illican. Are you still in your hybrid form?
Yes, I can shift to a full beast if the need arises, which it seems it has.
I can help with one of them as well.
He will shift to his polar bear form.
Okay, when you do that, Tariq freaks out. He withdraws his
Stop
spear
everything.
out, and he takes the position like I'm about to fight a bear.
Oh.
Wait, hold on.
Oh.
Illican he won't do anything at first, but then you will see the bear get smaller in size. Well, actually, it'll stand up on its hind legs first, so I can do the bear thing like this, and then he will shift back down to his Goliath form, actually, which Tariq has not seen.
Right.
And he'll hold his hands up, no weapons.
He's so freaked out. You can tell that he like takes a couple steps back and keeps his spear pointed at you. But he is not attacking or anything. He's just kind of like, what the fucking shit?
Someone care to explain?
I would
Yeah,
like to, but I don't really know if that's wise if we're about to go into Remorath territory.
Kind of like look over to the others and I'm like, point to the jihad. Gala.
Well, you know that's gonna fuck you up real bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd much rather be down at 3rd level spell slot than you be down.
I'll like just start waving my hands to cast minor illusion and kind of be like, like do like Goliath, version of Illican, bear version of Illican, hybrid, and like just have them like shift back and forth until he gets the idea, like, they're one and the same.
All right, he starts to understand, but seeing you cast an illusion also fucks him up pretty bad.
Does this guy not know fucking magic?
You gotta dumb it down for these guys. What? I'll just point to Illican and then give thumbs up.
Yeah.
Goliath plus bear equals question mark?
No, don't do that. That's flipping them off.
Just called him a motherfucker.
he leans his spear up against him and signs some stuff to you, and you're not exactly sure what he says, but he seems to be a little more relaxed, although on edge. Magic seems to sort of freak him out.
Give him another thumbs up.
All right, so he will sort of point his spear to the northwest of where you are right now. And he'll sign to you again, like, we're fucking going that way, guys. And if everyone is ready, you can begin your march. Is that the plan?
Wherever he's leaving, we'll follow you.
All right, so as you guys are you're good, right, V?
Oh, by the way, I'll say that I'll stay in Goliath form for now to put Tariq at ease, and I'll still try to carry the sled if that's doable.
Okay, yeah. I mean, the shield guardian grabs the reins of the 2 sleds that are loaded with dead dogs and whatever.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
And the
about
shield guardian carries 2 of them, but you guys can carry the other one.
Yeah, between the 3 of us, we can split that last one pretty easily.
You
I
guys
think
both have powerful builds, so your
Yeah.
carrying capacity is insane.
Yeah. So as you guys are marching, you spend about the first, 30 or 40 minutes of the day marching in the tundra. And Tariq stops on his heel, turns around. Can everybody make a dexterity check for me? Flat dexterity, not acrobatics. Flat
check,
dexterity.
yeah. So the dex button.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
This is exactly what I imagined happened.
Can we have
I
dice without
wanted the
trace,
dice
but
to
for
tell me.
dexterity?
So, in that case, after a couple of minutes, he's going to stop on his heel, wheel around, and smack the shit out of Sapphira's shin. You have armor on, so it doesn't hurt, but he smacks your leg, right? And you guys continue to walk a little further, and he fucking reaches around and smacks Gabar's leg, and then smacks Illican's leg. He's smacking your legs with his stick.
Hey! What are you doing that for?
I think he's saying we're walking out of sync or some shit.
He will take some steps right? And you will see that he takes like 3 or 4 steps, and then he does like a little side step, and then he takes like 2 steps, does another side step. He seems to be walking in this very random and strange pattern, and you slightly noticed him doing it before, but now it's very apparent because he's like doing it out for you.
So if I was trying to match basically exactly what he's doing.
Guys, it's walking. It's not that hard.
Just pretend like we're drunk.
Pretend.
From like a tracking, covering your trails
Yeah.
perspective, does it seem to be like intentional for like the Remorazes or
Yeah, this is why we're not using the dogs.
You're not entirely sure his like the I mean, it's obvious that it's something, but you're not familiar with it, right? Like this
Right.
isn't something you learned in survival school.
Okay.
But you can use your knowledge of survival skills to be like, obviously he's doing this for a reason, right?
Sure.
But you know, he just keeps marching. He tried to show you once, and then he just keeps walking.
Better try and follow as best as we can.
Sure. You guys do your best to follow after him. Let's roll for random encounters. Nothing. Okay. 2d6. No encounter. Son of a bitch. All right, so you guys have no encounter on your very long trek. I will say you probably see a couple of deer. Maybe a small herd of them, right? Like 10 or 12. And they appear to be heading to the west, right? I mean, they're, a couple 100 yards away from you. And, Tariq will sort of notice them, and he'll crouch down and look like he takes a sort of hunter stance, and he's watching them. He's paying close attention to where they're going, and then he will continue on the march. That's about the only thing that happens during the day. After about a whole day almost, it's like almost nighttime when you get there. Let me check so it can't be that far. First of all, let's move your token up a little bit because you were like a little bit away. All right, so we have 5.5 doubled, which is 10. That's way too much. All right, let's just say
it's 11.
Yeah, so let's just say. Okay, I have another thing I want to mention. He moves in the snow a lot fucking faster than you guys do. He is laden down with gear, and he is moving very quickly through the snow, taking very careful and conscious steps. Although it looks like he's drunk, like he said, it's very random, but he is taking very good care of where he is stepping as he marches ahead of you guys. So he does pick up your pace a little bit. And I'll say nearing the end of the day, you're just going to reach where I want you to. Token layer. We're going to move you guys over to here. There we go. All right. So as you are nearing the end of the day, there's no encounter. Ahead of you, while you're still a ways ahead, you can see the twinkle, or a ways behind, you can see a twinkle of like campfires on this sort of very large series of rocks, right? Like sort of rocky, mountainous kind of terrain. And the elevation has gone up a little bit as you guys have traveled throughout the day, only slightly. But the outcropping of rocks that you see is kind of like Pride Rock, right? From Lion King, where it's like this big, long, flat rock that has like a sort of sharp point to it. And then there's like surrounding rock formations around it, right? These like big piles of rocks. And you can see like ahead of you, a ways away, there is like fire lights on top of this rock. And Tariq will sort of stop you before you get that too close, and he'll start trying to sign to you guys.
Spyro, you might need to translate for us because I can't understand
Can
anyone
I
with magic.
can I try
And
a
then now.
detect thoughts?
Sure. When the surface thoughts he is thinking, right, is that these motherfuckers better let me do the talking, right? And it almost like in a panic, right? He doesn't actually say it like that.
Yeah.
He says it more like,
Yeah. He's
"Please,
worried.
Yeah, he's worried.
Yeah.
But you get the sense that he wants you to let him do the talking. And that's like the first thought on his mind. And he keeps signing the same thing over and over again and pointing at the rock.
I think he's trying to tell us that he's going to try and handle it, and he doesn't want us to interfere. I believe.
I don't
But,
know if we could if we wanted
I'm not
to anyways.
certain.
I will take that into consideration.
He like signs at you again, but gives you like a look. I mean, his whole face is covered, so I guess he can't give you any kind of look. But he's like, opens his arms up like, "Hey, do you guys understand what I'm trying to tell you?"
Yeah.
Take out the jihad collar.
Are you sure?
Is shaking your head yes, universal?
You can try to shake your head. Give him another thumbs up. That might work. I'm just trying
just
to
like
I'm just trying to
holding it.
save you, Sapphira, from taking 2 levels of exhaustion.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm holding it right now, but like or I like to have one hand on it
Yeah.
and like just looking at the others just for like assurance.
Well,
2
do we want
levels.
to try the pen and paper trick again? Because I mean, I'm not getting much. I know, I understand that that's a rock, but I don't know much beyond that.
Where are the fires at?
There is a rock ahead of you, very, very big,
Mhm.
right? And it looks like Pride Rock from The Lion King, but it's not as tall.
Mhm.
It's not as high up off the ground, right? It's just this very long, pointed sort of rock, and there is a bunch of little fire lights on it, as if there's like a camp set up there on the top of this rock.
Right.
I mean, I'll say, you guys get the idea that this is the camp. You've made it, but you're still a couple hundred yards away.
I'm just gonna try to make a mental connection with him.
Mhm.
And I'll say in the calmest voice possible, I know you don't like it, but this is the only way you can communicate. If you don't want any of us dying, all you have to do is think it back to me.
Make a persuasion check. See how calm your voice is.
Persuasion. I'm really good at that.
Hey.
So this time, he doesn't immediately reach for his spear, right? Because you can get the sense, now that you're connected to him mentally, you can get the sense that he's pretty fucking concerned right now. He does not have any idea how it's going to go down, but he wants you to let him do the talking while he can. And once you like get the connection to him, he basically gives you the idea that like, that's the camp up there. Let me do the talking. That's it.
All right. I think I won him over a bit with the mental connection. But I think it's like I said, he's gonna do the talking. And I believe that's the camp above on the rock. The Sadia tribe, I believe.
Sadiq.
Sadi.
Whatever he says, I hope it's wiser than whatever he said to his last tribe. Because whatever he said to them got his tongue cut out.
He will crouch down a
Interesting.
little bit slightly and point his spear towards it and just start marching forward.
Does
Do you
maybe have a
follow?
suggestion ready, Quintus? You did.
Always.
All right.
Doesn't help much. Or I can cast tongue, so that I can fix that.
As you guys approach, there is you can see now closer. There's about 20 dome-like tents that have been set up scattered amongst this rock formation, right? They are made from like timber that's been like folded in half, like these big, long, flexible sticks that have been like folded over and then draped with furs and cloth and like pieces of bark and stuff like that to like insulate it. And there's a couple of fires around, and you can actually see there are people wandering around there. And as you guys get like a closer look, like checking out the camp, you didn't even notice, but 2 Regheds warriors climb over the top of rocks and flanking you on either side and point spears at you. And they speak to you in a language that you don't understand. And they shout, right? Tariq, and while they are speaking, they do fucking hand signals while they're talking. Do you guys do anything specific, or does can Tariq take over?
I just want to cast tongues on myself.
Okay. Did you want to do that before when you
Yeah,
got
like
close enough to
on the
see?
walk up,
Hmm.
where. Yeah, I figure like if we're once Tariq started walking up, I would have done
Sure.
it then. But
That's fine. Okay, well they're saying, move any further and you'll die, trespassers, stuff like that, right? And Tariq will begin to signal towards them, right? And they don't lower their spears, but they do a little, right? They're not like we're about to literally throw our spears at you, but more like we're listening. And Tariq makes some more signals towards them, and they're like nodding and understanding, and they'll say back in their language, right? They'll say, you're not allowed to entry, or something to that effect, right? And they will jump down from the rocks and point the spears even further. And Tariq will signal at them, and he'll get down like on a knee and start signaling, hand signing at them. And the other one that hasn't been speaking, he will point his spear towards the group of you, and in common, he'll say, "You go to Dalim." And Tariq will sort of turn around to the group of you and try to sign at you.
So go ahead.
That was always the game plan.
Can I can I try and is he still willing to?
Yeah.
Like we still have a mental connection. If
Yep.
I try to get his attention,
Sure.
does he want us to go?
He will say that they want to take us prisoner to speak to the Dalim.
All right. I'll relay. I'll say I think they're going to take us prisoner.
it's either fight our way out here or fight our way out of there. They can move faster than us in the snow, so it doesn't really matter if we get a head start. I say we take our chances.
The way to the codicil is into this Reghed prison.
The warriors will sort of try to approach you, and they'll approach, let's say, who's probably like heavy, like Sapphira, right? Sapphira's like pretty heavily armed, and they'll like take the back end of their spear and tap on your axe that's on your back, right? Like put it on the ground. And they'll even say it in their language, Bothy. They'll say like, "Take your weapons, put them on the ground," right? But you don't understand them.
Is he like doing the thing where he's like pointing at the axe and then pointing down on the ground?
Yeah, like he's making it pretty fucking obvious that he wants you to put your weapons down. And the other one starts to do the same to the rest, everybody else. Like fucking, if you have a dagger on you, a staff, a wand, anything on your person.
Do they react to the jihad?
Yeah, I was gonna say like I was gonna put the axe on the floor, and then I take out the jihad kala.
Right, and both of them sort of take a step back, and they talk to each other. And Quintus, you can hear like, they possess the jihad kala, blasphemous, right? And he will speak to you, Sapphira, and say, "Bring it to the Dalim." But you don't know what he's saying. But he like motions with his stick for you to like keep it.
I point over to my axe.
Hold on to the jihad.
Yeah,
Sapphire,
no,
we're gonna
he's
need
like-
that later.
Don't fucking touch your axe. And your shield needs to go on the ground. And anyone
Oh,
else who's
damn.
carrying a staff or a stick or anything needs to fucking.
I have knives. I'll take them out.
Yep.
I really like that axe.
Gabar.
I put my shield on the ground.
I need you to make a sleight of hand or a stealth check to hide your fucking alien gun.
Can I just cast
Deception.
disguise self
Mhm.
on myself and then just
You
make
may.
it disappear? All
You
right.
may.
You still want a sleight of hand to see if I get it off in time? They see
I'll
me?
allow- no, if you use a spell slot, I'll allow it.
It's not a spell slot. I have the hat of disguise on.
Then yes, I want you to make a check.
Oh no! Oh no!
But it's hard to say. Like, so they notice you do something. So I think the repercussions of that is they're going to be harder on you because you just cast
Don't
some
shake
sort of
anybody's
spell.
hand.
Right? Yeah. So like they're going to be keeping their eyes on you. You get away with it, right? They don't understand magic. So the fact that you cast a spell, they don't know, but they know you did something.
Okay.
So they're going to keep their eyes on you. Does everyone else leave their shit? You know, Valin will put down her staff. And as you guys like take a step forward, the shield guardian steps forward, and the guy whaps the shield guardian with his staff as if like it needs to stay here. Whatever the fuck that is needs to stay here. Valin would like look to you guys like, should I leave it here?
Buddy, your stick's not gonna help against that thing, but as a show of good faith, we'll leave it here.
Oh, and you speak their language, right? Yeah. Oh shit. Okay. So he will say, you speak our language, you filthy townie or something. You know, he calls you some kind of name about being from the 10 towns. He will say that this beast stays behind.
Of course, your house, your rules.
Does everybody disarm?
Yeah, I'll empty
Except
a
for
pocket
the
of darts onto the
Jihad
ground.
Kala, that's right.
Yeah.
Does anybody try to hide anything other than Gabar? Okay.
Nope.
No need.
So there is a pile of weapons, and while that was going down, I think one of the Reghed, he will turn over towards the camp. It'll make this loud whistle noise that it sounds almost like a tune. Like it's not like a woo, you know, it's like a kind of noise, right? And like a whistle. And there is a Reghed that sort of goes to the edge of the rock, and you're about 150 yards away. So I mean, you can see the shape of another person there, and he will do some hand signals from a distance, and the other guy will do some hand signals at him, right? And he will, you know, nod and turn away back towards the camp. And as you guys approach the camp, more Reghed warriors will approach. They can signal each other from a distance. So you guys are going to get led into this camp. As you're being led into the camp, there are the two original Reghed warriors that sort of were behind you. And I'll show you a little handout. They wear lots and lots of like, they have like turbans and like, you know, lots of wrappings. It's lots of wrappings. You know, it's not like necessarily furs. There are a lot of furs, but they use a lot of cloth. Let's see if I can find some handouts of them. These are just like vague sort of images of what they look like. Yeah, that's about right. So as you can see, you know, they have like, you know, the same sort of vibe, both of them going on. Their robes they're like, you know, garments are different colors, right? But and more like browns and muted sort of colors. But yeah, you get the idea. As you are led up the side of like a hill to go up on like a ramp up onto this rock, You are being pushed ahead with spears, right, to lead the way. And as you guys reach the edge of the camp, there are 3 more. No. I think there's 1 for every person. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's say there's 6 total. So another 4 approach, right? Reghed warriors. One of which appears to be a lot bigger than the other. Reghed. This one has a name, right? There's the other Reghed warriors, and then there's this guy who has like this really long black beard, right? He's got that sort of light brown skin. He has on a like turban that turns into a hood kind of deal. And it's, it's woven furs and stuff like that. And he looks big and very strong. More so than the sort of lithe figure of the normal Reghed, even though they are pretty strong. This guy's like a big bear guy. He looks like this.
Kayumbe.
Hey! Kayumbe! But he will like approach you guys with that new party that's approaching. And somebody went back to get your weapons, right? And they sort of take the pile of weapons and throw it down at the edge of camp. And this big, beefy guy, he will say, Dalim Fazian orders you to leave your weapons at the edge of camp. So it is said. And he's speaking common. Do any of you have any reactions at all? It's fine if you don't. I just want to leave space for it.
Oh, we were just wanted to bring 1 weapon in, if that's all right. Kind of gesturing to Sapphira.
I will kind of start to pull out the Jihad Kala.
He will take a step back. Eye you up and down. Right this way, Ajnabi. He calls you an Ajnabi. You with the tongues up, right? He will, you will know that means like stranger or unfamiliar person. I also want to mention that when Tariq is approached by these people, he starts signing at them, right? And they give him the most nastiest, fucking disturbing, like, fuck you kind of look, right? Like this guy, Amar guy, he like is disgusted with this guy. And these people will sort of flock in towards you and start to escort you through the camp, being led by this guy, Amar Khan, right? This big, beefy guy. And you are sort of escorted through this camp. Now, as I said, the whole camp is on a rock. They are not like anywhere in dirt or snow. I mean, there's snow on the rock, but their whole camp is on this big ass rock with, it's different elevations. So there's some tents that are higher up than others, and there's campfires all over the place. But as you're sort of escorted through the camp, you can see a couple of things. You see a hunting party that appears to be preparing to either leave or just getting ready. They're sharpening weapons, these sharpening spears. They're checking on traps. A couple of them have those thumpers, those things that we seen in the, Tariq's cave, right? They have like these machine things. And, they're like gathering supplies and stuff like that. I described the tents before. They're like dome shaped. And there's like 20 of them. You can also see as you walk through the camp, there are some Regheds creating tools, crafting things, weapons, clothing, even on like a small spindle or whatever that they use to make cloth. They're like spinning yarn and shit right there in camp. But it's like a miniature version of a big spool. Weapons, clothing, jewelry, stuff like that. There is like a section off the sort of where the rock sort of dips down into a lower section. You can sort of see above where there appears to be young men and women that are being trained using a long pike rather, like a wooden stick with a fake tip on the end. They're like sparring with each other and training. And there's like an elder sort of reghead that watches over them and shouts at them in the native language. And also, as you're walking through, you notice that people see you, right? And they give you like either dirty stares, or some are confused, or some are concerned. But almost everybody spits on the ground when Tariq walks by. And as you guys are approaching, more and more warriors from the tribe begin surrounding you, right? So it's like you're picking up like a magnet getting drugged through, a thing of nails. More and more just keep gathering and gathering of just straight up warriors, like an army. Just starts sort of following you and surrounding you. Now you are completely outnumbered by Reghed warriors. And at the highest elevated area of this rock formation, we're sort of at the peak where he lifts up Simba, right? There is a large tent, the same sort of dome tent, but it's bigger than the others. And beside it, there is this sort of arched tent thing that's like attached to it. But it acts more like a canopy than like a tent. It has like a big, wide open space. And inside, there are a few figures sitting around a campfire that's sort of inside of this little dome thing. You see a man, right? Human, brown skin. He has on like this really nice hood with the scarf combo thing, with the turban deal going underneath of it. He has this sort of gray leather band that goes across his forehead. Brown skin, beard. He looks like this.
Oh, by the way, Jay, real quick, that word you were looking for, that entrance thing, I think the word is vestibule.
Okay, there you go. That's what it's called. But that guy's sitting down on the ground, and he notices you guys, like by the campfire, and he notices you guys approach. And you will see that he is actually holding like a baby in his arms. There's like a 2-year-old child that he has like sitting in his lap. And when he sees you, he like picks up the child and then hands it to this other woman that was sitting next to him. She is like almost completely. Yeah, this is what she looks like. And the boy, the little baby boy. He like hands the baby to her, then she wraps him up, and this guy, this Reghed, stands up, grabs a really nice looking pike or like a glaive or some sort of polearm weapon, and he will approach the group of you, meeting you sort of halfway between his tent and all of the edge of wherever his camp is. And there's a shitload of fucking Regheds all around you. As he approaches you guys, he looks over towards this big, bulking Reghed, and he will say, in common, "What have you brought me, brother?" "8 strangers and a savage," he'll say as he looks down at Tariq and spits on the ground at his feet. And Amar, the big guy, will say in the native language, "They were approaching the camp, being led by this Sadafa tribe traitor." He will take his spear, do a fucking really cool flip thing with it, point it at the group of you, right? And all of the Regheds, like that, and they all draw their spears out and like have them sort of pointed at you, like that scene in the Lord of the Rings when all the Rohirrim are surrounding them, and there's like spears all pointed at them. That's sort of what's going on with you guys. And this guy in the middle, right? He's the Dalim, right? He takes his staff, flings it around, and sort of points it at the group of you. And he will say, "I demand an explanation for your intrusion of my camp. If you do not give me a reasonable excuse, I will personally have you executed for trespassing. So it is said." And when he says "so it is said," the Regheds that are sort of on you guys will try to push you down to the ground, like to make you bow.
This is all in common?
Yep.
Sapphira will take a knee
Yeah. But let me ask real quick. Does everybody take a knee when they force you down?
Yeah.
I don't really have a
Begrudgingly.
choice.
Yeah. Yeah, we can roll.
Yeah.
You're right. V doesn't really have a choice.
Just get dead legged and collapse.
All right. So all of you are sort of bowing, and yeah, he said, "Give me a fucking reason that you're here."
I kind of like hold both my hands out, or Sapphire holds both her hands out,
Mhm.
and she will reach over to her back.
Uh,
As she will procure the Jihad Kala.
Okay.
Placing it in both hands.
He'll look at it, kind of look down his nose at it, right, and at you, and take that in, but no one has spoken. And Tariq immediately starts fucking doing hand signs, like fucking going crazy with hand signs, right? And you know, I'm gonna call them by their names now, right? This is Dalim, Fazian, Hasnawe, right? So I might call him Fazian, the Dalim. He's Fazian, right? The other guy, the big bulky guy, his name's Amar. I'm gonna call him Amar, and then we have Tariq, right? Okay, I'm just gonna call him by their names, so I don't have to keep describing them. So Fazian will sort of take in what he's trying to say and spit on the ground towards him again and like give him a kick, Tariq. And Tariq sort of crumples. And he says, well, what have you to say for yourselves? You bring this savage into my camp.
We've traveled a long way to seek out Regheds. We've found ruins of your ancient peoples and, you know, driven out giants that would desecrate them and found artifacts. And we've come to learn of the Regheds that you know this land better than anyone else. And our mission is to help this land get out from under the oppression of this endless night. Sure, you're just as interested in that as all the people in 10 towns, as all the Goliaths in the mountains, as the kobolds in the caves around this place. It would benefit everybody, harm nobody. So we've come here seeking information, and we're willing to return your artifact to your people. We know not the crime this man has committed, but he saved our lives, and for that we've come to trust him somewhat.
He will lower his spear or like stab it into the ground, right? He'll do a fucking cool twirl with it, stab it into the ground, right? You're still bowing before him. And he will say, forgive me, but you show up uninvited into my camp, bringing with you stolen artifacts of our people. And you bring with you a Sadafa tribe savage. And then you ask me for information? Assistance? This is quite unusual. In our culture, you do not ask a favor unless you have earned it. And fucking Tariq starts fucking signing at him, right? And when he starts signing at this point, the king, you know, he sort of puts his hand on his hip and is watching him sign, like intrigued. And with that, Tariq will remove his face mask and take off his goggles, right? Toss them off, right? And all of you will sort of see, as I described before, this grisly face on this guy. It looks horrible. Now that it's a little more clear, you weren't like catching it from the side, you can tell it is very apparent that he has these claw marks across his face. And it ripped out part of his lips. And his tongue is gone. And as he does that, Fazian will sort of a knowing, sly sort of grin curls across his face. He will say to Tariq, I know you, Sadafa scum. You are the son of the cursed Dalim Bakim. I have heard whispers that you were exiled for your betrayal of your Dalim. You must know that treason is an unforgivable crime. And he's like frantic. Tariq starts frantically signing at him again. The king seems to ignore this. The Dalim seems to ignore this. Yet you wish to join us, the Sadiq tribe. And when he says that out loud, you know, the fucking warriors, they go, Sadiq, right, all together. And after Tariq's done signing, he'll sort of bow his head in like reverence, right, like on all fours before you. And the king sort of takes in everybody. Right? He scratches his chin a little bit.
I know not of this man's crimes and what he would have done, what he has done to his people and to yours. But I can say that he has helped us. That he has helped us here, and he is willing.
Speak not to me, cursed one. I'll say to you. Those who touch the ancient artifacts of the Reghed are cursed.
In what way?
You look at V.
Yeah. And you would have been cursed if Valin didn't remove the curse. Oh no, that was the pearl. Right. This thing has its own sort of deal going on. I mean, you kind of get the idea of how her spirit like drains your fucking energy and shit.
That's
But,
true,
like,
yeah.
but he like says that thing that you have in your hand, it is revered by our people. You have taken it from where it belongs, and now you are cursed. And you're gonna try to fucking talk to me, the Dalim of the Sadiq tribe? Fuck out of here, kind of thing, right?
Where was this Where did you place this originally?
Where was it originally?
Yeah. I know I took it from the Ruby Glare.
He will say that he is in the lost tomb of whatever the lady's name is.
Oh, that wasn't the lair that we took it from, right?
It was, yeah. It was just not.
Doesn't need to know that though.
Yeah.
He's gonna go that far south. We can lie here.
He will explain that that's where it came from. Was fuck? Let me look up the goddamn information because it's a whole person that has a backstory and everything. I just have to find it in my notes.
We can probably do a little fibbing. I got some charisma spare.
It's the. I don't have it, man. Fuck. I gave you guys the fucking information. I'd have to find it. Whatever.
What are you trying to find?
What that lady's name was.
Amaya Safaya.
Right? And that she was the rider of the hold on, I have that too. I might as well just pull it all up. The Shai al-Dalim, which is the great Ramirez or the maker of kings, right? She was like the rider, the one to tame the first Ramirez, and like goes on this whole spiel about how this bitch is so important and that you are in possession of this legendary artifact that should not be meddled with. So honestly, this sort of backfired.
Backfired in what way?
He's pissed off that you have this item and he doesn't want it.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't want it.
I'll say that was not information I was aware to until this came across my path. It was stolen by somebody. And I ended up taking it back.
Make a deception check, but with a low DC, because it's not necessarily not true.
Okay.
Maybe it wasn't stolen, but it was in possession of someone. Okay.
Okay.
It will say, nonetheless, those who touch the legendary artifacts are cursed, and you are cursed. This is a difficult situation. You ask something of me.
And you want something in return.
Our people have a way of handling situations like this. And he will shout at the top of his lungs like, Rayana al-Tarib! Right? And those of you who had tongues up or whatever, he said in the native tongue, trial by combat. or
Of
like
course.
sparring match, or
Fuck
like
yeah.
exchange of battle skills, right? That's really what it translates to, is like exchange of battle skills. So it's not like a fight to the death. It's just like an exhibition.
Competition of martial prowess.
Yes, that's right. That's sort of what it stands for. And once he says Rayada al Tarib, right? The whole fucking tribe that's watching, right? They go, Rayada al Tarib, right? You like look over at everybody. Are you familiar with the concept?
Oh, very much
Combat?
so.
Yes, we've destroyed metal dragons and aliens from other planes. We're not scared of not wanderers from far north.
He like clocks your disrespect, right? And he will say, your strongest warrior against mine. If you impress me, I will give you an opportunity to earn my respect. With respect comes friendship. So it is said. And then the whole tribe, so it is said. Huh.
See you over there, big smile.
So does anybody they have like in this time have backed up a little bit. The Reghed Warriors backed up to give you some breathing room, to like stand
Yeah.
up and sort of.
Can we like parlay Cone of Whispers type of thing real
Yeah,
quick?
you totally can.
Figure out what the fuck to do here.
They're strongest against ours.
I know. All right, I'll do it.
No offense, B.
It's only a joke.
We can't risk it taking a single punch.
This reminds me very much of my own time among my people.
Hey, look, can we ask you to do it twice in a row?
Is this a fight with or without weaponry? I do believe that would matter.
The king, the Dalim, he will stick his hand out, right? And you will see Amar, this motherfucker that walked you through the camp. Big sumbitch. He sort of marches up, and the Dalim will, present him with his hand, right? And he will say, this is my chief of war, Amar Khan. He was chief of war when my father was Dalim, and he has fought beside me in many battles. He looks over towards Amar. Amar, brother, will you be my champion? Amar nods. He will turn back towards you guys. This combat will be Kinjal against Kinjal. No other weapons.
Kinjal being
The knife.
Little dagger thing.
Yeah.
Are they monk weapons?
Yeah. They would be, yeah, totally. So it's up to you guys how you want to handle that. But he's basically saying it's going to be a single combat a knife fight. But you're not trying to kill the son. Yeah, you're not trying to kill the son bitch. You're just trying to sort of, like you could stab him if you want to, but don't kill him,
So a Resident
the
Evil
point.
knife fight.
Sure.
I mean, that's still got armor and all that. So.
This might be 9 hells at the Vamps Fair.
Sapphire, this might be up your alley.
I was going to say that or big smile. You can hit a man 4 times before he can even blink.
I mean,
They may
blades are
let
never.
you keep the Jihad Kala if you prove strength to them.
The Kinjal, you mean?
No, the
They don't
The
give you
jihad.
fucks
Spear.
about that.
The spear.
Jihad.
I don't think they want it back, anyways.
Yeah, they don't want it back.
They don't really want it back. I think come pissed them off with that.
Yeah,
That's
they
the
want
hot
you to put it
potato,
back where
yeah.
it came from.
Well, what do you guys think? I'm ready to throw down, but if it comes to blades, I might be better as the cut man in the corner for Sapphire or Illican if they want to go.
I have a way to enhance. I have a way to enhance weapon attacks if that helps.
If you guys want to do it, it's up to you guys. You're best against Amar Khan.
Should we put it
Big
to the
smile.
vote?
Big smile, Sapphire. I
No
would
one.
volunteer, but
I kind of want to do it.
All right.
If that's all right. I mean, if that's all right with you, Big Smile. I didn't want to.
You
Is it a dex weapon?
It's a dagger.
You can
So-
use either or.
I can use
Either.
either or.
And let's put some
Anybody
fire
can use
in
either
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
your hand is steady with
I
the
agree.
blade, Sapphire. You should be the one.
I'll just like walk up to Big Smile and be like, why don't you sit this one out? Don't need to see you again. Stab.
I think these old bones will be better off behind the ropes rather than in the ring for this one. So I can help you out as much as you need, Sapphira.
Thank you for this. I'll let you have the next one.
I think it's fair that I didn't say this, but I think that Dalim would have introduced himself as well. He would have said, like, I'm the fucking Dalim of the fucking Sadiq tribe. He would have made a big deal out of that.
Sure.
And also at the same time, Tariq is not jumping to volunteer. In fact, after they recognize who he is, he puts his mask and shit back on. And sort of signs to you guys like, y'all better fucking handle this one.
Yeah, let me
Up
do
to
the
you
talking.
now.
Yeah.
He tried his best.
Sapphira, do you have inspiration?
I do.
Okay.
All right. He will say,
offer
have you
nothing.
have you chosen your champion?
I will step up. I am currently shieldless. Oh, that's okay.
Mm.
Armor class should be
Faith.
17 still.
17, yeah.
Fozzian will raise his spear up into the air and he'll say, so it is said, right? And the rest of the tribe, so it is said. And they begin to clear out, right? As they clear a circle around the camp where at the head of the sort of this is like small cliff, it's maybe, I don't know, 10 feet off the ground. There is a big circle of, we sort of get a screen wipe, right? Where this already just sort of happens. And you guys are still surrounded by warriors and stuff. You're still disarmed and all that stuff.
I
They're
just
not-
wanted to toss inspiration to Sapphira as well before we like
problem.
split up.
No problem. But you're right there. Like you're like right at the edge of the ring, right? But they like make this ring where Fozzian and his tent is on one side, the rest of the Regheds are on the other side, and in the center is a campfire. And Amar Khan sort of approaches, and Sapphira is on the other side of the campfire. And he will sort of draw out a kinjal. Now, Sapphira, you would have been given a kinjal
Yeah.
by one of these Reghed warriors. They would loan you a kinjal. So you have one as well.
Yep.
And
I'll be
it is
using
this
that.
Sorma's warm to the touch sort of knife. It has these detailed scrawling, like wood carving kind of shit on it, or whatever. What's it called? Scrimshaw. It's like scrimshaw carvings into it and stuff like that. Nice detail, but yeah, it's just like sharp bone. And let me go over to the map.
If there was ever an opportunity to smite on every attack.
We'll
I mean,
pull
I can do that.
Sapphira up. So there's like two logs where you're supposed to sit down on either side of the fire, right?
Oh,
Sapphira.
can I have oh, this is a long rest. I already had a long rest, so I should probably put myself back at full health here.
Yeah, yep. Can everybody see?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So you can see there's a bunch of Reghed warriors. There's like some up top, like up there. There's tents. There's a bunch of people surrounding you, and there's the Dalim Fozzian as he sits in his tent, and Amara Khan stands before you. While the tension, as Amar Khan steps forward and Sapphira steps forward, the tribe begins to chant, Rayada al-Tarib, Rayada al-Tarib, right? As if they're like amping everybody up, hyping everybody up, right? Everybody's getting excited for this like contest. And Fozzian will settle in. And say, Rayada al-Tarib, so it is said, right? And when he says said, Amar Khan grabs his knife and starts running for you. We need to roll initiative.
Roll initiative.
Fuck them up,
I
Sapphira.
get +3. 14. That's fine.
Combat going.
Swarm.
Oh
Sorry.
Not again.
Moran kicks start
Oh,
popping
they're gonna
out.
kick me while I'm
He
down.
gets
Okay.
layer actions. That's not fair.
It's kind of their
He's in his
lair.
element.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
You got the music too, Eric?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You hear it?
Perfect.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Let me pull up Amarcon's character block. All right. So he will quickly jump over the fire, which you weren't expecting this big hulking man to be so spry. He will jump over the fire, get into range with you. And perfect. All right, he's gonna hit you with a kinjaw. That is a 19 to hit.
Hits.
All right, you take 6 piercing. This is what's it called? Amorphous damage, right? Like this doesn't actually affect your health. When the combat is over, you won't have any damage to you, right?
Yeah. Okay.
It's mostly just like he would have got you good with this one, right?
I'm still counting down my own HP.
Yes. But like we'll go back and give you your health back when
Yeah.
the combat's over.
It's like
Yeah.
points in a MMA match. Or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, exactly. So he takes the kinjaw, jumps over the fire. He will take it and just try to drive it like towards your chest, right? And then he'll take his leg and try to fucking knock you over. As a bonus action, I think he's going to try to grapple you.
Okay.
He can use a bonus action to attempt to grapple the target. Oh no, when he hits a creature with a dagger attack, he can use a bonus action to attempt to knock the target prone. You need to make a strength saving throw.
15.
You fail.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yep. So he takes you, kicks his foot underneath of you, knocks you prone, and then he's going to do like a knee dive and stab you again. But this one's an unarmed strike. So it's more like an elbow. Fucking crit.
Equals elbow.
Yep.
Oh damn. 11 damage. Okay.
Yep. This guy hits like a fucking ton of bricks as you feel like the weight of him on your chest, and he will shout like out towards you, "Come on, give me a fight!" And that's the end of his turn. Sapphira, you are prone.
Sapphira feels the wind getting knocked out of her. Not
Yeah.
really quite expecting that at first, but she'll quickly get back on her feet, taking the Jihad Kala one-handed and begin to swipe.
The kinjaw, right? Not the Jihad Kala.
Kin-
They said
kinjaw, my
no
bad.
weapons. It's okay.
What?
It's a
should I use
dagger.
for the just a dagger. Okay.
Yep, you can just
Does-
click drag a dagger on, and that'll be exactly.
Would a javelin work? That's 1d6.
It's supposed to be
1d4.
1d4. Okay.
Hmm.
Let me take care of that. Actually, I'll probably just roll the damage if that's okay.
That's fine. Yeah.
So I'll just use the javelin then.
As the
Is it
attack roll.
Yeah.
That's fine.
It's not like a +1 on it or anything.
No,
right?
just a regular old piece of wood or a piece of bone.
Gotcha.
You miss.
I'll do it at advantage.
With your inspiration.
Yeah, inspiration.
Okay. That hits.
16. Okay. And you know what? This one I'm just doing a third level, not third level, second level Divine Smite.
Okay.
All right, so that's going to be 1d4 plus 4 plus 3d8.
Okay.
19.
Very good. All right.
And
So
for my
God,
bonus action, I will merge with stone.
awesome. Very cool. All right. So how do you strike him? Like get specific with me in this combat, right? We're gonna just flavor it up real good. So he knocks you on the ground, right? And then he stands back over you and like bangs on his chest, like, come on, come at me.
So I get back up and I like try to swing at him with the knife, dodges out of the way, but like he'll see that like the back end of the knife begins to kind of like envelop with like crystals
Sure.
as she just backhands him with this knife.
He stumbles back a little bit as you get him. Pretty good.
And then as she kind of like stands firm again, you feel like her stance basically kind of like firms up a little bit.
Yeah.
The cracks in her skin kind of like fuse together a little bit more.
Absolutely.
And she becomes resolute.
Awesome. All right. Amar's turn. What does he want to do?
What's the atmosphere like? Is it just dead silent, everybody watching this, or is it rowdy?
It's not rowdy. It's not rowdy. Some people are commenting, speaking in their sort of native tongue, like, oh, I can't believe she landed that hit, or go on Marcon, stuff like that. But it's more subdued. It's not that rowdy. This is very ritualistic and like professional, the way that they're handling this. Okay, it's Amar's turn. He is going to spin around, and as he spins, his robes sort of go up in the air and obscure him a bit, and he's going to try to whirling dervish sort of jab it into your side.
Okay.
He gets an 11.
Misses.
All right, he misses you. And with that, he's going to. Oh, he has to hit first. Fuck. All right, then, and he's going to try to make an unarmed strike. So he's going to punch you with the other hand. 24.
Hits.
All right, for 6.
But it's only 3.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So he will whirl around, try to hit you with the knife, but it chink off your armor and your skin, right? And then he'll take his fist with the same motion, the sort of same swinging motion. And because he's got the knife in his left hand, right? So he will try to punch you in the face, right? And he makes contact, right? And there's like stone that sort of off the side of your face, and he pulls back and he grabs his hand. Like, fuck, that hurt. He tries to like play it off cool, but he just hurt his hand really bad trying to punch you in the face. And he will take like a step backwards, like in this sort of scene, so that he doesn't get hit again. But that's his turn.
Right. Sapphira is then going to just go forward as he's taking a step back and trying to like take advantage of that as she swings twice.
Okay.
22.
Hit.
And a 10.
Miss.
All right. Second level Divine Spite again.
Okay.
All right.
And do the D4 and everything too.
4 plus 4 plus 3d8. 15.
Woo, man. All right. You hit him again real good. He takes damage, and you like strike him in the chest or whatever as you come back up with it.
Mhm.
And he was still like holding his hand, and he like takes 2 steps back, and he almost touches the fire with his back, right? As he like whirls back around to try not to like fall into the fire. The flames lick at his like clothes or whatever, and he like makes his way around towards you. And
how's he looking? How's he looking?
yeah, he's absolutely fine, but like, a little more, maybe 2 more turns, and he'll be where you need him.
Okay. I will be using another Merge with Stone.
All right. That is your turn?
Yeah.
Awesome. Angrily, he's going to like swing around you, and he's going to try to lunge out at you with his dagger. With his kinjal. 24 to hit.
Hits.
6.
3.
And he is going to try to grapple you.
Okay.
He has advantage on a grapple check. So he's going to make an athletics check with advantage. Oh, a 14. You have to beat a 14 with a dex or strength.
With athletics.
Oh, you beat him. So he tries to grab onto you and like do the like a body slam, like backwards type thing. But as he tries to grab you, you are so heavy, right? Because you're like a pure stone now. Right, so he like tries to grab you, and you're so heavy. And those of you that are in the crowd can hear whispers of like, "What the fuck is going on?" They don't understand magic like this, right? So this is very strange to them. So there are his whispers of like, "Are they demons?" You know what I mean, like that sort of thing. And he angrily lets go, and then just tries to punch you in the rib cage, like underneath, like in the in the spleen or whatever, since he's behind you. That is a 14 to hit.
Misses.
Damn. He punches into you again, and there's the clang of armor, right? And he pulls his fist back, and he angrily growls at you. It's your turn.
Okay. Kind of look back as like he was trying to grapple me. She kind of just like pushes him back.
Yeah.
A little bit as he tries to push him. As he tries to punch me.
Yeah.
You know, he's like grabbing the fist at that point, and I find an opening kind of like at his stomach, I would
Sure,
say,
sure.
and just slash at that
Perfect. Let's get it.
twice.
Oh.
With the jab. Well,
Yeah, I got it.
24 and 20.
Both hit.
Let's do 2 level 1s for
Yep.
divine smites.
All
So I'll be rolling this twice.
Yeah, just give me all the damage total after that. Like I roll everything and give me the total.
Plus 4 plus 2d8. 13, 15, 28.
Holy shit. Oh, he's hurt. I mean, like that got him good. You got him good with that one. As you like pummel onto him, right? He's now like he's not ready for these fists made of stone, followed by this sort of bone knife that keeps like getting so close to vital organs that he would like be seriously taking some damage if it was a real combat.
Yeah. And at that point, she's not going to use immersion stone, as she just kind of like stands resolute. She's she could probably take a hit.
All right. It is now Amar Khan's turn. Is a shove action part of an attack action? If I get 2 attacks, can I do a shove action and then a regular attack after that?
Yeah, it replaces one of the attacks in an attack action.
He'll do that. He'll try to push you into the fire. So he is going to, he doesn't get advantage on this, so it's just an athletics check. He gets a 19. You have to beat a 19 to not get pushed.
Is this athletics or just a regular strike?
It's either athletics or acrobatics to contest it.
Let's do athletics.
Okay.
You have that D8 if you need it.
I will use the D8.
Let's hope it does what you need it to.
37% chance.
Oh, wow.
Whoa!
Matches
You
it.
got it. So he gets down low, like you stab him in the stomach, right? But not really, but like you could have stabbed him real bad in the stomach,
Yeah.
right? And he'll double over from just the force of your fist, right? But it's a fake out as he jumps forward to try to push you into the fire, right? And it takes both hands, tries to push you into the fire, but
I'm
his
kinda holding
you
back.
yeah, and you grab onto his hands, right, as he pushes you over, and you can smell his breath, his scraggly beard in your face, you know, and he growls at you, and then he's gonna try to knee you in the chest with his unarmed strike, or like knee you in the stomach. Oh, he gets a 22.
Hits.
Yeah, so he does hit you for 6 bludgeoning, as you get like double over a little bit, as he did sort of hit you in the stomach, and then he takes a step back. You are safe for now. That is his turn. Sapphira, you're up.
All right. So, we're kind of like at this point where like we're
Sure.
both kind of like holding each other's hands.
Yes.
He kicks me in the stomach.
Mm.
I'm still like trying to like hold on to him as I just like kind of pull myself up.
Yep.
Ugh.
Headbutt him.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'll say you can just make your fucking dagger attack, and we'll call it a headbutt.
That's gonna be her hair.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
23.
That hits.
Fuck it. 2d8. Actually, I'll do one more javelin attack.
Yeah, then hit him with the dagger. Follow up with the dagger. That misses.
I'll just do the 2d8.
Okay, and then we'll do the 1d4 for
Plus 1d4.
Whatever. Yeah,
plus
whatever.
4.
Yeah. Well, I'll allow that.
16.
See? Not quite. Very close though. If you had hit that second one, he would have doubled over. But you definitely, strike out at him. Or no, you headbutt him, right? So your hands were locked together as he's like trying to struggle against you, and you fucking headbutt him, right? And that actually does some damage. And the whole crowd is dumbstruck that you actually like drew blood that runs down the side of his face, right? This whole time, all of these strikes haven't been like stabbing, right? It's just like, oh, would have got you there. Oh, would have got you there, right? But you hold back from actually stabbing him. But this time, you did do some damage.
And there's like some blood coming down from her head as well.
Sure. Yeah. And he will smile at you. Is that your turn?
I'll smile back.
Very cool. Let me make sure Nothing else is happening during this combat.
Hey, you're stealing your
will-
thing, big guy.
I will say the entire time Fozian have been sort of watching. And at that strike, those of you that are pretty perceptive or insightful will notice that he also gives a little grin. So it is now Amar's turn again. And he will try, he'll say something to the effect of like, but in the native language, they'll say, gonna finish this, right? And he's going to try to make a Kinjal attack at you. A 24 to hit.
Hits.
7.
Okay.
He is going to trip attack you again.
All right.
So strength saving throw. You
19.
succeed. Fucking hell, man.
Jump over it.
Yeah, so he tries to sweep the leg, right? And so he gets you with the Kinjal in a spot that you would like, so you have to duck to or like dodge in, suck in to like not take that strike, right? But you get it anyway, and then he goes in to sweep the legs, but again, you're just like jump right over it and land back on the stone, and it's this loud thump because you're like made of rock. And he will uppercut. Like a fucking Mortal Kombat uppercut from the, because he's crouched now. So he's gonna go for the Mortal Kombat. So unarmed strike. 22 for 6.
Hits.
Oh god, and you're still up too.
Yeah.
Woo, this is a close combat though.
Yeah.
All right, and he started with way more health than you did, and you're looking about the same. All right, it is your turn again, Sapphira.
My turn.
Mhm.
Stand back up. I land with a thud as I just take that hit.
Yeah.
And just kind of like as I begin, just so 1, 2.
All right, let's get it. Hit.
2. Natural 1.
Oh, that misses.
Mm,
Oh wait, what's the damage?
hold on. I only have 2 more spell slots left.
You won't really
Okay.
need them if you lose.
You have 2 more smite slots left, is what you meant to say.
True. Let's do it. 1 more first level.
Okay, give me the total.
18.
How do you want to defeat him?
I will I kind of punch him like right in the stomach.
Mhm.
And like as she then turns around and just kind of like as he's about to kind of like go down, she just like uses the other hand and just kind of like props him back up.
So in this moment, a hush falls over the crowd, right? Everyone watching is in awe. And then Amar Khan will laugh. He like slams his hand down on the ground. He's gonna get up, fucking pat you on the shoulder. That was some good fighting.
Thank you. It was honestly that was like one of the actually not really often that I really get to do something like that.
He will take your hand in his hand and hold it up into the air as they both, if you both hold your hands together, right? And
How tall is this guy?
much taller than you.
Yeah, okay. Like she's kind of getting lifted
much
up
taller.
in the air.
Yeah, much taller than you. And he like lifts your hand up into the air, right? And the crowd takes their staves and their spears and beats them into the ground, into this rock, so it makes like a clicking, clanking sort of doop, 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 doop noise, like they're cheering. They don't cheer, but they slam their sticks down. And Fozian will take a step forward. Those of you that with a relatively good insight can tell he's pretty impressed. And he will say, "You have done quite well. Allow us all to commend your skills. So it is said," right? And the tribe all responds, "So it is said." Huh.
She will nod gracefully as she says, "It's been a good fight, from one warrior to another.
Mar
You
will
fought well as well."
slightly bow towards you and then join Fazian by his side.
I'll lean over to Illican and say, "Did our girl do you Goliath proud or what?"
She did good, my friend. She did good. Couldn't have done it better myself.
You have done well. And you have earned the right to stay the night at our camp, at the very least. However, physical strength alone is not enough. It is not just strength of battle that is respected by the Reghed people. Our nomadic lives keep us constantly on the move. The journey through the treacherous tundra holds great significance for the Reghed. It is a test of our resilience, adaptability, endurance, and commitment. You wish to earn my respect? You must learn to understand the true hardships we face.
I've gone this far, haven't I? I'll make sure to go the full way.
Nods.
And I'll prove that I don't need any spirits or any cursed items to do so.
If you all can successfully walk beside us to the next camp we make, I will grant you audience, and I will tell you what you wish to know.
It shall be done.
I am confident in your abilities. He says this a little less quiet. The whole time he's been saying it out loud to everybody, but now he's a little closer to you guys and he sort of just speaks to you, even though he's speaking out loud so everyone can hear it, but he's speaking in common. He will say, I am confident in the abilities that you have shown me, and I believe that you have the potential to prove yourselves worthy allies of the Sadiq tribe. Do you guys have anything you want to say to Fazian?
How far do you march in a day? Just out of curiosity.
The next trek we will make will likely be about 14 hours. It's either 12 or 14.
Split between 2 days, I'd assume.
We march straight through.
I was worried you could say that.
Guess I'll be skipping my morning run then, I guess.
It'll be more of an evening carry gabar kind of exercise.
It's not what we came here for, but if impressing you means getting the information we need, so be it.
When do we start?
We leave in the morning. You are free to roam our camp until then. Amar will escort you to retrieve your weapons, but we will be watching you.
Well, I thank you again for your for you allowing us to stay here, and I'll make sure that by the end of tomorrow we will be maybe not one of the Sadiq, but definitely a part in some way of your family.
He'll wave his hand. So it is said. He walks.
So it is said. Am I allowed to say that?
Only he gets to say that.
And he will like walk away. And Amar and some of the crowd will sort of disperse. You are free to roam the camp and explore and talk to and do whatever you want in this tribe. So you may be able to get the information you need without this, but he's saying if you want an audience with me, if you want to fuck with me, you gotta do what I say. And Tariq is signaling at you guys, please, please, we gotta do this. Like,
I'll go up to Big Smile and just be like, I would have made a bet about that fight, but last time we did that, you kind of bailed on us. So
And I guess I still owe you a couple gold still, eh?
I guess so.
How much
Next
is
time.
it?
Maybe just buy me a beer back in Bryn Shander when we get back there.
I'd rather have a beer than all the gold in my pocket right now, but you're on, buddy.
all right, so Amar will lead you back to the entrance of the camp. And Valen will ask if she is allowed to bring her shield guardian and the sleds, and they will agree that it is okay.
Do we get a tent, by the way? Or are they gonna like put us up, or we just gotta figure it out?
You got to figure it out. Yeah.
We're just gonna go ahead.
I mean, you can ask Amar if you want.
Just gonna drag a sled full of dead dogs through camp.
Well,
It's up to you
don't they
guys,
have to
yeah.
carry all their stuff? Do they
They
carry
do.
all their stuff when they travel?
You'll have to ask around.
Maybe we should drape some cloth or something over the dead animals.
Which is weekend at Bernie's. These
The
dead
dogs.
dogs. Yeah.
Do they ever get rotten if they sit too long?
Yes. No, because it's cold. They're frozen. They're like solid.
Right. Oh yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, so they don't ever disintegrate any more than they are currently. All right, so what do you,
That's
what do you guys want to do? Give me a whole walkthrough of what's going on.
At some point, Big Small would have went up to Sapphire and gave her the like gladiator handshake, good
Yep.
fucking job, high five type of thing.
Oh yeah, she would have reciprocated and say, "I'll learn some of it from watching you."
Did us proud, girl.
I'm glad that means a lot.
That'll look pretty fun too.
Like I said before, I'll give you the next one.
Dan, did you want to say something? Okay. What is the plan then? What do you guys want to do? Get the sled full of dead dogs covered up, bring it to the edge of camp, and explore the camp?
Yeah, I guess we'll get Lynn to get her bubble up at some point, or is that gonna be too much magic for these people?
Not sure.
They can deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they just watched Shafira beat the shit out of their war chief with like magical punches.
Yeah, they were pretty impressed. If there's nothing specific other than bringing the dead dogs, I will say Amar Khan will approach you, the group of you. He's been watching from afar. And he will say, if you are to march with us tomorrow, you must first learn to march. And he will start to show you how to march. And he does the exact same shit that Tariq does. He takes a couple of steps, side steps, takes a couple of steps, takes a step backwards, takes a couple more steps, takes another side step to the other side, and will sort of try to show you how they march, right? But it seems so natural to them. It is not some sort of, it's like a dance that they can do idly.
Right. So if I can get it right, you step a little bit forward. You go to the left, to the back now, y'all.
One hop this time.
Maybe
the
just
right
get on the
foot
sled with the
stops.
dogs.
He will say, if one wishes to avoid the ire of the Remores, one must think like a lemming. Does the Remores breach its head to attack a lemming? No. So one must move like a lemming to avoid being eaten.
But do we know what a lemming is? I'll say to Quintus.
I don't know. You know when you get the right answer, but you do the wrong equation?
Mouse, you'll say, little mouse.
Clever.
So as you think about it, yeah, that makes sense. Like he kind of takes some, it's like skittering steps is how he walks. But it's so natural to them because that's how they march across the temple. They don't attract it because it's not rhythmic. It's not It's not a tempo. It's sporadic, and that Remorize doesn't register sporadic movement because it doesn't notice a mouse on the sand or on the sand. We're not in Dune. Doesn't notice a mouse on the snow. So you guys want to practice?
No.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we gotta.
Yeah.
All right, let's make some dexterity checks again.
Oh, boy.
So Nar will just float over the over the snow. Oh, okay. Big Smile gets it instantly. Oh my god, Quintus, you get it too. Gabar, you get it. V, you get it. But I feel like Valin, Sapphira, and Illican, you guys are struggling.
All right. Slide to the left. Slide to the right.
Amar
I
Khan will
slept.
slap your leg with his stick, just like Tariq did. He'll slap your leg with a stick. It's like, no, like this, and he will show you. And it's like this so weird, this giant dude doing like really elegant, like ballerina steps.
Sorry, we gotta do that for 14 hours.
He nods.
Illican is bad at it, but he's enthusiastic. He's like, Amar, yes, you must tell me the angle of your ankle. How do you not submerge in the snow?
It's all about quickness, he will explain. If you are swift enough, you won't sink. I think that Illican can make a survival check to try to save face.
Oh, save face. Oh,
Yeah,
we
like
that.
maybe he when he says that, you're like, oh, okay.
You're
And I
thinking
think maybe
I'm wrong.
yeah, you're thinking about it wrong, right? It's not ballerina steps; it's a survival check.
I feel like Illican
Move.
would be good at this.
Yeah, so Illican, you do get better at it. Let's get another one from Sapphira again. Another
Sapphira is
dexterity
actually
check.
just like at this point, she's actually just trying to learn from this.
Yeah, so I'll give you advantage for as he like takes special time to teach you, as everybody else sort of gets it.
11.
You're not the
I-
best. You're pretty clunky.
He's a slow
You
learner.
guys,
Clank, clank.
You guys
You
will
might have
see
to take
that,
the armor off.
Yeah, maybe the. Oh boy.
All right, Illican.
Vanilla for protection.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I imagine that, like, out of sight, Illican shapes into like a little rodent or something, and he's like, he like goes into the form, he goes back into normal form, he's like scratching his bald ass head.
That's awesome.
But
So
he gets
Sapphira,
a little better.
a little better, right? Sapphira, you're not great at it, but Amar Khan seems enthusiastic for you. And
yeah, and Sapphira is actually very like focused on this. She wants
Sure.
to get it.
Yeah. So after a little bit of time, maybe 20, 30 minutes of practice, he will sort of nod his head with his arms crossed in approval, and he will say, "You have learned well. I wish you luck on tomorrow's march."
Thank you. I'm feel like I'm learning some more of these steps.
You will do fine.
Thank you. I'm glad to have a good teacher.
So say, please feel free to join us for the Ashara.
What?
Ashara. The
Is that
Ashara.
like dinner?
He nods.
Eid.
Whoever, if somebody has tongues up, it is a proper noun.
All right. I'll be glad to attend.
He nods and walks away from you guys. And you are more than welcome to explore the camp. I will describe a couple of things that are of interest that you could check out if you wanted to. First of all, there's a shitload of tribespeople. So if you want to talk to any of them, you're more than welcome to ask them questions, anything. There is a tribal gathering area that seems to be pretty populated. There are people that are like cooking something going on there, in a big pot. There is, I'll describe that in a second. There's the training grounds that I sort of described before. It's like kind of like a flat surface near the outside of camp that's like a lower elevation, still on a rock though, where there are people training still. It's getting late and they're still training. Outside of the tribal gathering area, sort of the center of camp, there is a small circle of children that appear to be in school of some sort. Like there's an elder woman who is teaching them stuff, and it seems that they all have like ropes, and they're doing something with these little ropes, like little 6-inch pieces of rope. And there is also a tent that is different than all the other tents in camp. All the tents in camps are like these dome shaped with the fucking sticks and stuff like that. And even the Dalim's tent is very similar to that, but it's bigger. This tent is more square with like a sort of roof kind of deal going on. It appears to be the most well constructed out of all the tents. And it's got the furs covering it, and still the same sort of deal, but it's a lot nicer. In fact, I think they have like Arctic animal furs, like white, like it's all white, right? And sort of next to it, the same sort of thing that the Dalim had, where it's like a lean-to sort of thing next to it, cover canopy. There is like a shrine of some sort in there.
Yeah, so I guess it's not like a true vestibule, but it's the same type of idea. It's
Sure.
like a little space you enter before you get into the actual building.
Yeah, sure. Yes, I would say so. But it's open.
It's
right?
open.
Like
Yeah, it's just a canopy. Over
Yeah,
top,
it's just a canopy. Yep. So those are the interesting things. There's a really crazy good tent with a shrine kind of deal next to it, and you guys are more than welcome to explore the camp until nighttime.
I'm gonna go ask around to see if these people even have the information that we'll need.
Okay. So you want to try to go up in like maybe the tribal gathering area where there's a bunch of them, or do you want to ask somebody that's sort of on the outside of the?
I'll work
Outside
my
of that
way
area.
around the outskirts, and
Okay.
if those people seem, resident
Absolutely.
or hesitant to talk to an outsider,
Okay.
I'll try to work my way toward the more social seeming people.
Okay. What about like everybody else? Let's get sort of what everybody wants to do in this sort of scenario.
The only thing I can think of is Illican will approach V actually.
Mhm.
Because it seems the easiest for V to communicate with Tariq. And Illican will basically be like, he'll say like V, you seem the best equipped to talk to this Tariq, and I do have a question for him, if you wouldn't mind relaying.
I can.
Well, it could be nothing, but I'm just curious if and how Tariq knows how often these people move. I mean, he knew they were here, but they may move often. It's curious. I wonder if they have usual spots they go to, something like that.
Would you like to come with me
Absolutely, yes.
and ask him?
Yeah,
Um,
Illican will heartily
Did you
agree.
see where he went off to?
You know where he is. He's off to the side of the camp, kind of thing. We'll get to you guys in a second. So you two go to speak with Tariq. Quintus is sort of making rounds, trying to rumor monger. Everybody else, 3 of you left.
I think Big Sma would go to the training grounds, and
Okay.
is there like targets set up there or something?
It is
Like, I don't know if this is like an archery range.
no.
or there's just-
They're
okay.
melee motherfuckers. Well, they do use throwing their spears. There are clusters of warriors, each carrying a blunted training spear or long polearm staff. There are 2 combatants sparring in the middle of each circle. Very similar to what you guys just did. But yours was like more official. This is more training.
Okay.
And every so often you'll see like a fucking old lady or something there's a rock that sort of is elevated above where they're looking, and you will hear like an elder shout out at one of the circles, like that they're doing something wrong or something like that.
Okay. I might try and go up and talk to that old lady, or just like at least stand beside her and, kind of like take stock on like the type of advice she's giving.
Sure.
If these people are at all open to like dialoguing while this happens, I'll engage. If not, I'm just happy to watch the fights.
I'll get back to you. Gabar and Spyro.
I'm gonna join Big Smile,
Uh-huh.
but I'm not gonna spar. I'm gonna try to find like a log off to the side
Just
and kind of
watch.
watch. And I'm actually gonna start working in my spell book for a little while.
Okay, no problem. Sapphira.
I'll kind of explore the camp. I don't know if like Amari is like going off to just like kind of.
He's been watching you from a distance, but he's mainly in the tribal gathering area, in like the center of camp.
I'll go over to him, and I guess I'll just kind of like talk, and I'll say, you fought well up back there.
All right. So he is. Let me describe this area for you real quick. Okay. So the tribal sort of gathering area is the heart of the camp. It's large and open. There are several small campfires, and in the middle there is one large bonfire. You can see that there are tribes people around that are preparing what you assume to be ishara. It is a hearty stew with different types of dried meats, vegetables, herbs, stuff like that. So there's like more than one person, including some children, that are like working on this stew. And it's this very big pot that they're cooking in.
Sure.
But you walk up to Amar, and he will say, I am not as spry as I once was.
Really? I thought you gave me quite a beating back there. How long have you been, I guess, chief of this? Not really chief, but
War chief.
War chief of this camp.
Ooh. 30 years.
Wow. Is he like, he's like a human, right?
Yeah, but he's old. He's real old.
Gotcha.
Yeah, not that old, like 50s.
Okay. Sapphire will say, you've done a great job at keeping everybody safe. It's something I envy.
Not as safe as you would think. The four tribes are currently at war with one another. We have tried, the Sadiq tribe have tried to stay neutral in the conflict.
I see. It's not really easy when your people are at war with one another. When it always just feels weird too, right? Like you have bigger things to worry about instead of having to go each other's throats like this.
The Sidafa and the Lahab tribes are the aggressors. The Kalb tribe keeps them both at bay.
And the Sadiq just kind of wait in the wings.
We try to survive.
It's, I don't know. I guess it's a little funny trying to think about it. We are different in some ways, but at the same time, we're not really. I'm, I guess, a guard of one of the towns down south, or over at the 10 towns.
He grunts.
And we're always at each other's throats as well. And I feel like we shouldn't be. I feel like there's a lot of transgressions between each other when really there's a lot of people in common that we should be fighting alongside. I can't speak on your own businesses for the tribes. And I can't really speak on top of everybody else here, but I really just try to do what I do in order to help everybody survive. And I don't know if I don't know if I'm really doing the best at it.
I am same. I do what I can for my people.
I think it all just comes down to doing what you do in order to help everybody, help yourself and everybody else survive. And I think that I feel like I'm learning a lot from just even being here for a day. And, I feel like maybe you can learn something from your own tribes or from, I guess, just a random passerby like myself.
Come, help with the Ishara. It will be good for you.
I will. Thank you.
He will sort of stoically gesture you towards where some women are like cutting up stuff, vegetables, root vegetables, and stuff like that. And everyone in the tribe seems to lend a hand when constructing this meal.
Yeah.
Whether or not, what they scavenge for themselves or what meat they have stowed away, everyone sort of contributes. And you help moving stuff back and forth, stirring the pot, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Cool. We will move on to, let's say, I kind of want to go back to, I kind of want to do Quintus real quick. So Quintus, how are you going about doing this?
Just going around to people who kind of look idle, or maybe just like,
Sure.
packing up stuff they gathered or whittling something or whatever, and
Mhm.
just trying to get a feel for how much the endless winter has actually affected these people. Is this just business as usual for them, or have things gotten harder?
Do you have tongues on you? Because most of the tribe only speaks Bothy.
Yeah, I'll keep. I have 2 more spell slots, so I can have another 2 hours to walk around and talk to people.
Okay, that's fine. So, you discuss this with let's say there's like a hunter who he's older, like an elder kind of guy, and he's currently like at rest, sort of like just chilling. And you call up to him, ask him that, and he basically explains that the herd of reindeer that they've been following is starting to starve and have been moving a lot less frequently. And a lot, so the people of the Reghed people aren't necessarily starving, but their food source is thinning, right? Which means these fuckers are built for this shit, right? Like they are so good to go, but at the same time, it is starting to take a toll on them, a little less than it would say like the 10 towners.
Also, I want to find out if any, foreign druids came in and tried to kind of get a stake here.
I don't think that he has anything to. He has no concept of what a druid means. He actually will ask you, you mean a sahir? And when he says the word sahir, that translates to magic user.
Yes, we've had worshippers of dark gods trying to infiltrate places back where I'm from, so I was worried that might have been an issue for you as well.
He will say that rumors say that the Lahab tribe is ruled by Dalima Nasaira Mufti. And they say that she herself caused the never-ending winter, and that she has ice running through her veins. She is gifted with controlling the frost and snow like some of the ancient Reghed warriors of legend.
Did you say that name one more time?
Nasaira Mufti, and she's a Dalima, which is the female version of a Dalim.
What was that last name?
Mufti.
Mufti.
Thanks.
And I'll also try to figure out if he or any of the other Regheds have ever heard of the Isle of Solstice.
He is not familiar with that concept. Is that it?
Yep.
Okay. We cut back to let's say Big Smile and Gabar. You guys are sort of watching the training. There are 3 elders, 2 females and a male, dressed up in their same sort of garb, the Reghed garb, but they're older, and one of them's even like sitting on a stone with a big staff, like he's too old, or the girl, the female one, is too old to like stand. And every so often they like shout in the foreign language that you do not understand at the Regheds that are like doing whatever, and you just sort of approach them.
Yeah, and like even not understanding the language, if I can understand like combat and fighting, if I
Sure.
can maybe gesture like, oh, like he should like roll his shoulder like this when he's getting hit, type of thing.
All right,
Like,
okay, here's what I want you to do. This is sort of like a tool check.
Okay.
With proficiency. I want you to make an attack roll, and that's going to be your like knowledge of combat.
oh, I love it. Okay. A
Okay.
10.
So the style in which they fight is a bit different than what you're used to, but you do pick up on a couple of things, and like maybe you make a suggestion that or in your mind you're like, oh, I maybe he should have did like this, and you like show it, and one of the elders sort of looks at you and is like, interesting that they know how to fight,
Yeah.
but it's mostly, you can see that their fighting style is very fast. They fight fast as fuck. So it is sort of familiar to you because they also get like a shitload of hits in one turn, kind of thing. But they use these long sticks that have a lot more blocking, a lot more stabbing, a lot more slashing than like punching.
Yeah, of course. Interesting. Okay.
And you can see that probably the youngest warrior that's training right now is like 13.
Feel like Illican's tribe would like these people and probably have a lot in common.
Certainly.
I'll just like note to myself.
Okay.
And given the language barrier, I don't think Big Smile would like pry too much, kind of just like enjoy taking this in for what it is.
I mean, it's pretty awesome to
Yeah.
watch these guys like work. Gabar, are you doing anything specific other than writing in your notebook?
I feel like I'm gonna focus on my notebook for a while.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm gonna start copying a spell out of Zan's notebook into my notebook, spell books, whatever.
All right. Well, what do you want? Like, let's go ahead and handle that now.
It's gonna take me 3 hours.
Okay.
But I'm gonna start copying sending.
Okay. That's fine. You can start well, let's just get it out of the way. Let's say you can get it done tonight.
Okay.
Without
3
risking
hours.
like exhausting. Yeah, 3 hour. I'll say if you start immediately and that's all you do, you can do it. You have to make a check though, right? I don't remember how.
Yeah, well, yeah, just a straight intelligence check. DC is 10 plus the spell's level. Otherwise, it's fucking busted. It's busted.
It's busted.
Oh,
All right.
fuck.
I want busted spells. I'm
Yeah,
good with this.
We've never gotten one yet.
I
Like,
know, but
we've
I
never
can't like
gotten one.
I have a bunch of like, polymorph is busted, meteor's min is busted, locate objects busted. I cast that a lot. Magic missiles busted.
Yep.
Well,
it'll come up eventually. When the worst case scenario.
one of the most
Dude,
fun time
on
for that to
sending,
happen.
that's terrible.
Try to cast sending, and I'm
And a
casting
fireball
fireball on myself.
For real.
Okay, so we will then cut to Illican and V. So I will say you guys find Tariq. However, as you have noticed, he is treated like dog shit by these other tribespeople. Even the sort of children and stuff like spit on the ground when he walks by and like give him the sass. You know, he is very much not respected by this tribe. But you approach him, and he's sort of sitting on the outskirts of the camp, like the very, very outskirts, and he's like sitting crisscross on a rock with his staff across his legs. And you approach, and he like sort of nods at you.
Whenever you're
I'll
ready, V.
I'll wave at him before I say anything.
Has the mask on and everything.
Does he look? Oh yeah, I can't really.
You can't really tell, yeah.
Yeah. What is he doing?
He's just sitting.
Just sitting there?
Yep. He's waiting for the next day.
So weird. Yeah.
You can ask him all about it.
Yeah. Can I pop in his head and be like, sorry to do this again to you, but
He grimaces and like tightens his grip on his staff, but like lets it go.
we were just wanting to know a few things.
He'll give you the indication that whatever you need. You've helped him so far.
What was it you wanted to ask him again? He seems willing to communicate.
Well, to sum it up, I want to ask how Tariq knew these people were here if they move around often, it seems.
I'll say to Tariq.
Mhm.
You were exiled from your tribe and seem to have very little relation with this tribe. How are you able to find where they are? It seems like they move often.
He will explain to you that he went to the sanctuary after he was exiled to hopefully run across another camp or another tribe. When he found out that it was fucking totally fucked in there, he made camp outside of the sanctuary and had just been keeping an eye out. He saw them traveling 4 or 5 days ago, and that's how he knew where they were camped out at. He like followed them to where they camped and then walked back, just so he knows where they were.
I'll say to Illigan, yeah, it seems like he hadn't known for long. They just gotten here within the last 10 days.
Well,
He
we
followed
just
them
missed
here.
them. Mhm. If we had been a little earlier, we might have come across them even.
Can I ask him? Do you? It seems that you're. I'm sorry to pry, but it seems that your. I'm trying to put this nicely. Your exile is well known. How can that be for a place as this wasteland of snow that all these tribes know about it?
He will say that he is the son of the Dalim of the Sadafa tribe. So he's the son of the chief.
So a Prince Dalim.
Basically.
Hillikin will butt in and just ask V to summarize what was said, which I'm assuming V will
Do so, yeah.
And if
yeah,
he does that, then Illikin will follow up, and he's not necessarily asking V to ask Tariq, but he'll just kind of ponder like, It still seems odd that the news can travel the way these people lived, and maybe they have messengers or something like that.
I agree. It is. It is strange. Perhaps they're more interconnected than we imagined.
Indeed.
Can I ask him again? You don't have to answer, but I am curious, and we've come this far together. I mean, we got you here after all. What happened? It might benefit us if we know.
While you're in his head, you can tell that he is reticent to. Okay, what ability are you using? Are you using detect thoughts? To speak to
I'm
him?
just no.
You're using
no,
telepathy.
No. Yes.
Okay. You do get a vague sense of him being reticent to speak to you about it. Like he's obviously hesitant.
Okay.
Hesitant. He's like holding back information, but he will say that something to the effect of. Hold on, let me see if I can find. He explains that his tribe are savages, is the word that he'll use, and deadly, and he doesn't want to live like that. Very vague. I will say you are almost certain that it's possible that other tribe members would know more than he is willing to tell you, considering everyone's talking about
Very
it.
well. Yeah. Strange. Well, I hope after tomorrow you're able to find at least a place in this.
I'll even say that
Tribe.
you catch him after he has already came back. I think he went to speak with Fazian. I think he personally met with Fazian to sort of work out a deal. Because it was mostly you guys that worked out a deal, but he's like wants a personal private deal. So you guys put the foot in the door for him, and he sort of handled how he's going to do it. So he will also explain that like if he travels along,
okay.
if he travels alongside you guys and the rest of this tribe, he may be accepted.
Well, then that's good to hear. I'll relay that to Illigan. I'll just be like, he said he worked out a deal and they might accept him if he travels with him.
Yeah, Illiken will nod, and he'll say to the one last request, if you don't mind, just maybe to ease this poor man. I want to tell him that I can relate to his struggle.
I'll V will somewhat smile, but she'll say, my friend here, Illiken, he, in a similar way, knows your struggle, and more similarly than you may know. But he was able to find his place as well. So all is not lost.
It gives you the sense that he is grateful, and Tariq will look over towards Illican and sort of give him a nod, like, thank you for saying.
Yeah, Illiken will. What would he do? He's gonna make some like awkward attempt to do some kind of signing.
Okay.
He'll make like a fist and just like go out like that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. He will nod, and you can't tell, but he's smirking a little underneath.
That was the fuck you sign.
Oh, yeah, right. That was
the middle finger. All right. Anything else for him?
I guess Illican satisfied.
I'll nod to him as well, and then yeah.
Okay. I will say, as you guys head back, Illican and V, you pass by the Lin and the Shield Guardian. There is a slew of children climbing on top of the Shield Guardian. The Shield Guardian is lifting them up in the air on his arms, and then because his body is on like a rotating thing, he like spins around in a circle really fast, and all the kids are like, "Whoa!" And then he stops, and they drop off. And some of even the adults are taking quite the interest in the Shield Guardian, and Valen is so fucking over it.
Can I approach Valen and just be like, so I'm guessing you told it to do that since
I
it doesn't
did
have
not.
a sound, correct?
I did not. He appears to be
Hmm.
entertaining these children. Must be part of his programming. And the Shield Guardian sort of
Interesting.
pats one of the little boys on the head, as he like sets him down on the ground off of his arms, pats him on the head, and then sticks his arms out for another set of kids to jump on.
That kid checked for a concussion.
He's a Reghed. He's strong. He can take it. I will say also, Quintus, as you're making your way back, did you want to talk to anybody else about anything else, or anything?
Nothing in particular. I figure he would just spent that time like gathering several different opinions on those questions he asked.
Okay. I think you would get a couple more pieces of information just by talking around. The thing of interest to you is that the Sadafa tribe, this tribe that Tariq's from, they say it is led by, and this is like in quotes, the cursed Dalim. They say that he is a brutal warrior who worships an evil god and hunts Regheds and eats their flesh and bathes in their blood. They say that his tribesmen are monstrous cannibals. They are also one of the smallest they're the smallest of the 4 tribes. You will also hear that, and this is an opinion that you get a lot of, is that, and I think Sapphira got some of this too, as Sapphira was sort of talking to the people about stuff like this. The Sadiq tribe, and probably the Regheds as a whole, view people from 10 towns as tender folk, right? Like weaklings. They say that they're ill-equipped for life in Icewind Dale. The people of 10 towns merely adopted the cold, right? The Reghed were born in it, molded by it. Right? That sort of thing. So like maybe some of the people that you approach are like put off by you, and that's the opinion that you get, right? They're just like, oh, you fucking weakling, you little fucking, you know what I mean?
They think that's bad. They should see Baldur's Gate.
And the last piece of information I think is important that you get is that the Dalim of the Kalb tribe, is this huge giant man, who is known amongst the Reghed people as the Bear King. Legends say that he was left in the tundra as an infant and was raised by polar bears until he returned to his tribe and became the Dalim.
What tribe again?
The Kalb tribe.
Call. Okay.
Yep. They are the largest tribe. I think that's like pieces of information that you get. And the same sort of vibe that like they're struggling, but it'll be another year or so before they're really hurt. As Quintus, as you walk back towards, like, let's say the center of camp, right? You pass by this nice fucking tent that I described earlier. And you can sort of get a closer look at the shrine. Maybe you don't go in, but you can like actually see it good now. It is an open face tent-like structure that is a shrine, and you assume it is a shrine to Shai al-Dalim, which is the maker of kings, the great Remoraz. Inside is a wooden altar, and this got snow and shit on it too, because the snow just sort of blows into here. But it is a wooden altar carved in covered in richly colored cloth and furs. On the altar is this huge, hollowed out Remoraz skull head thing, right? Because it's an outer shell, right? But it's like this, it doesn't have eyes or mandibles, or maybe it does, I'm not quite sure, but it's just like the hollowed out head of a Remoraz that's just sitting on this altar. And it is carved with these intricate, beautiful designs and details that cover the whole thing. There are melted candles, like wax, like whale wax kind of candles that like cover it. And there's like a wooden pallet on the floor for kneeling. It's just this sort of shrine to the great Remoraz. And it's right beside this like very awesome looking tent. White fur around it. Okay. Is there anything else anybody would like to do? Because we can sort of cut to something else.
Can I talk to Quintus?
Sure.
And what is he doing?
You meet up with Quintus right as he's passing by this really awesome shrine. He like just got finished looking at it, and then we cut over and there's V.
Hey.
Everything all right?
Well, no. I'm quite dreading this trip tomorrow. I don't know how else to put it, but I don't think I can make it. I don't know what else to do. The trip here was quite gruesome, and we didn't even have any problems.
Well, we'll be traveling with a pretty big group, so any problems, like a bunch of Remoraz, might end up solving themselves if they just go after the Regheds. But I mean, we have tricks. I mean, have to ask Illikin, but you might be able to hitch a ride.
If it becomes too much, I will carry you, of course.
Illican approaches.
Yeah,
He was with me
Illican approach.
anyways.
He was. Yeah, I feel like.
Oh,
we
he was
were-
with
we
V.
were
That's
together.
right. He was with V. I forgot about that. My
Yeah.
bad. My bad.
He gets all silent sometimes. but
He
We'll
blends
speak
into
up
the
when he-
background, and then the
yeah.
camera
Are you
zoom
sure?
focuses, and there's Illican, giant dude standing there.
Like the Dwight meme. Fuck.
I
I guess just looking up.
Yeah, like the office style camera
Yeah,
where it just pans,
yeah.
but it's zoomed in real close.
I mean, if you wouldn't mind, that I would greatly appreciate it. I mean, I can try my best, of course.
Yes. I know you will try your best, V, but there's no burden to me. My only concern is that, well, I already have trouble doing those foot movements, whatever they call it. With you on my back, it may prove more difficult, but of course I wish to rise to all challenges.
I'll try my best not to burn you, but I was just worried, and I'll turn back to Quintus. I was hoping that maybe a good night's rest might ease whatever ailment this is, but I assure you it hasn't lessened in the slightest.
I mean, I wish I could help you with that, but the only real way I know to do that is ask Valen. I mean, she got rid of the curse on that
Valen?
pearl we found from the other tomb. Figure her magic's strong enough to get rid of this one. But it seems the way our relationship with her is, you're gonna have to give something in return. And I'm sure she has ideas on what she wants.
I agree. That's I was trying not to go that route, but it seems like I don't have any options, do I?
Well, the other option is probably not going to work, and it's, would really be the death knell if we just kind of stole her spell book, have Gabar copy the spell and do it. But I really don't think she would appreciate that. And, stealing a spell book from a wizard is, that's a metaphor for doing something really hard.
But you're saying if Gabar did have her spellbook, that would be something he'd be able to do, you think?
I mean, he's been doing it with Zan's book. Look at him.
Camera pans over to one-handed scribbling in a book.
It's really not that easy. I have to have like Sonar like holding the book for me while I'm actually writing.
Yeah.
But,
Alright.
I mean, if you want to avoid a confrontation with her, we could talk to Gabar and work something out.
I'll consider it. We'll see what the day brings us tomorrow.
On the other hand, the next time we're in Bryn Shander, there's the Temple of the Morning Lord. Maybe that should be our next stop.
And they can do something there?
I mean, the Morning Lord brought Big Smile back to life. Sure, this is child's play for him.
Let's just hope that we don't. Let's just hope that we aren't devoured by some Remorhaz before we make it back.
Agree. Well, I'll stay close to you, Illikin. And
Of course.
if I need assistance, I'll let you know.
And I mean, I could get you pretty far ahead of the pack for a little bit, but I'd rather have that in case Remora swallows me.
I agree.
I have some magic that may help as well. It is actually very similar to that effect that some of you gained from the sanctuary. Should be useful against them, but I can only cast it on one individual.
Now I feel like a burden. Now I know how Gabar feels.
I hate it, but it's true.
Well, with this spell, person will be quite unburdened. I hope that it will help. Of course, so many of these Remorhaz may not be nearly enough, but as you said, V, we will see.
Thank you.
Anything else? All right, cool. I want to say that every one of you have heard from someone in the tribe in common, or maybe not you, Quintus, right? But everybody else has sort of heard somebody in broken common say that they will see you at the Ashara, right? Or like join us at the Ashara or something like that. Someone would have said it to you, or please come to the Ashara, maybe for Illican and V, right, as they're walking through town. So we will cut to the Ashara, right? What that means is in this tribal area, right, the sort of center of camp, every single tribesperson in the entire camp comes to the center, and in wooden bowls, they will scoop up this stew and begin to pass it around, right? And it's not like everybody gets a bowl. They have like 7 bowls or so, and everybody sort of gets a couple of drinks of the stew out of the bowl and passes it to the next person. You will have learned that they do this tribal meal only before very long journeys. This is how they prepare their bodies for the journey ahead. So every couple of, every 5 or 6 days they have a big meal together. Usually they just it's like fend for yourself kind of thing. The hunters have meat, you come get some from them, but you feed yourself basically, except for right before big journeys, the whole tribe eats together. Just to sort of form a bond with the tribe as well as get some good food in you. And all of you are welcomed to share in this meal. Even Fazian, the Dalim, and his wife and son are there with the rest of the tribe, sharing this meal. Drink from, pass around. Yeah, and there's like children and stuff. That's another thing that you would have noticed, is like children are encouraged to help with camp duties, including making food, gathering firewood, and doing small chores. You would have seen that earlier. But while you guys are having the Ishara meal, right? You guys just do the thing where you just take a couple drinks, puff, puff, pass kind of deal. Nobody like hogs it or anything?
Roar. Slap his hand.
I'm like, trying to prop it up with my gun, which is no longer hidden at this point. I'm just like, I'm sorry, it's so hard to work.
So you got the ale?
Where's the beer?
So while you guys are sort of sharing this meal and getting passed it around, there is a tribe's elder, right? This is sort of, I think it might even be one of the teacher that was teaching the children before, in that little circle or whatever. And they stand on a rock that's in front of where the campfire is, the bonfire, and they're like illuminated by the bonfire, sort of silhouetted, and they tell a tale, right? I'm gonna give you the cliff notes. This is like the sort of entertainment for them. The tale told by the elder is of Arnabat the rabbit, right? In this sort of legend, in this tale, right? Arnabat the rabbit is a cunning and brave rabbit who encountered a tribe of wolves led by Chief. Wow, that's also very similar to another word that I said. Let's say Kev. Chief Kev, right? However, so the chief of the wolves is named Chief Kev. Instead of becoming prey, Arnabat proposes to join this wolf tribe, right? Chief Kev thought this idea would help him in eating the poor rabbit and challenged Arnabat to 3 tests. The first test was to run for a day, being chased by the wolves. If the wolves caught him, he would be eaten. But Arnabat, using his agility and wit, outmaneuvered and outran the wolves that day. The second test was to hide for a day, being hunted by the wolves. If the wolves found him, he would be eaten. But Arnabat, using his ingenuity and his instincts, hid in burrows and thickets and was never found by the wolves that day. Frustrated by the losses, Chief Kev challenged Arnabat to the final test. Arnabat was to duel a fearsome bear, known to be a formidable adversary, even for the wolves. Chief Keb was certain that Arnabat would succumb to the bear's strength and aggression. However, Arnabat, using his quickness and agility, dodged the bear's attacks and wore it down with swift kicks of his powerful feet. In a remarkable display of courage, Arnabat was triumphant. Impressed by Arnabat's feats, Chief Keb allowed the rabbit to live and welcomed him into the tribe forever. That's the tale that you are told. The whole tribe sort of shares this tale. While this is being told, the story is being told, Fazian, the Dalim, watches you very carefully, all of you. You just dead eye, like fucking lock eyes with all of you the whole time.
I'll lean down to Gabar and say, so was this 14-hour hike? Is that like the second trial then, or is that going to get us through all three?
I'm really hoping that it's like the third. Like we've already somehow managed to, but I doubt it.
Yeah. Maybe
What?
just getting here is trial 1, and then Sapphira beating that old man's ass is trial 2, and
This is a children's story, guys.
I'm just saying, when I was just waiting for Arnabat to get eaten at the end, like that story me Gam Gam used to tell me, but I'm surprised it never happened. If there's one more trial after, so if Sapphira has to defeat her heaviest hitter, then we gotta walk for 14 hours, and then we gotta do more shite after that. I'm gonna be fine. Oh,
yeah, these fuckers better know where that Isle of Solstice is after all this.
As you say that, Amar Khan approaches you. The meal has been sort of passed around. It's been, about an hour. It's basically bedtime for everybody, even including you guys. You guys are done for the day. Amar Khan will approach, and he will say, "Excuse me. The Sahir wishes to speak with you." And Quintus, you will recognize that word from earlier as the magic user. Right? Like that's their word for like our shaman, right? Like that's their like word for shaman is a Sahir. And he says to you guys that the Sahir wishes to speak with you.
I'll lead the way.
You guys follow?
Yep. Sure, yeah.
He will lead you through the camp, and as you walk away, Fazian will watch you. And I think those of you with a decent insight will sort of pick up that he knows what's happening. It's not like he's like, "What's going on? What are they doing?" It's like he expected this. You guys approach the tent that I so delicately described earlier, this fucking white tent with the shrine next to it. And Amar Khan will sort of open up the side of the tent, the fold to the tent, and say, for you guys to enter. Do you guys head into the tent?
No, step in.
Sure. Inside the tent, it exudes an air of mysticism and reverence. The flickering glow of oil lamps casts dancing shadows on the textured walls. The floor is covered with thick furs and woven rugs over top of this rock to like absorb some of the snow, right? In the center of the tent is a small hearth, around which are low cushions and pillows. Animal skulls, feathers, and other natural artifacts are displayed around the tent, like hanging from twine and string and stuff like that. Sitting on the opposite side, kneeling, let's say, on the opposite side of the tent, from where you guys enter, is a feminine figure. But they are covered from head to toe in ritualistic garb, right? And as you sort of can see the light that casts onto their eyes, you can see that they have no pupils. They're snow blind. Their face obscured by like a burqa, like a fucking traditional burqa. Right? Let me show you a handout of what she looks like. Yeah, there you go. That's what she looks like. As you enter, she gestures for you to sit or kneel, all of you. And there's enough room for everyone to fit in this tent. It's fairly large. You guys sit and kneel or whatever.
I'll kneel.
She will say, "Welcome, children of faraway lands. The wind has whispered of your arrival for some time. It is an honor to finally meet.
It's an honor to meet you as well.
I am the Sahir of this tribe.
What does that mean exactly?
I am the spiritual leader.
I see my clan has the same, similar, I should say.
The ancient ancestors have spoken to me in visions. They have shown me your purpose. I know what it is you seek.
And you also know it would behoove you to tell us that information.
She nods knowingly. Allow me to regale you my vision, and perhaps more will be clear. In my vision, I saw myself in a dark and icy cavern, and before me, a great glowing orb. It shone with a brilliance that rivaled the sun. The orb seemed to hold within it the essence of life, hope, and renewal. Guarding the orb with covetous and greedy possessiveness was an enormous horned owl. Its eyes ablaze in a fiery blue. Its feathers as black as the darkest night. And it exuded an aura of unflinching cruelty. The owl seemed to treasure the orb. Beside the owl, I saw the form of a disembodied Sahir. Shrouded in swirling shadows. The Sahir's presence was sinister and foreboding, radiating with dark magics and corruption. It seemed to be in communication with the orb, channeling its wicked power. As I watched, I saw the group of you. The same as you are now, but changed. And you approached the orb and its dark guardians. With unwavering resolve, you unleashed your strength and struck upon the heart of darkness. Your actions ignited into fierce battles, a clash of light against shadow. There was a struggle for dominance, but when all was calm, one of you reached out and touched the orb. The touch igniting a brilliant surge of light that radiated out in all directions, Growing stronger and more vibrant, the light melted all the snow and ice and brought back life to this desolate landscape. The spirits of our ancestors speak to me in uncertain visions, but the message is still clear. You will bring an end to this winter. Far be it for me to disobey the spirits in granting me this vision. It is apparent that we are to help guide you on your path towards your destiny. And I will say again, I know what you seek, and I know where you can find it. But it is clear that to gain this knowledge, you must first endure the march alongside our people. It is through this journey that you will learn the endurance and resilience of the Regheds people. For only then will you be prepared for the challenges that lie ahead. Basically saying, like, this march is more important than you guys even fucking realize.
Is Fozzian in here?
No, it's just her and you
You
guys.
just dropped us off.
Amar just dropped you off. And
Oh,
he's,
Amar.
yeah, and he's like, he didn't even go in.
Right.
Is she alluding that this is like a test? Like, if we can't do this 14-hour march, then there's no fucking way we're going to be able to, like, defeat the Frostmaiden type of thing?
It's basically like, you're going to learn something in this experience that's going to be helpful for later.
Ah.
Yeah, it's like the fucking mouse
Foreshadow.
tools type shit. Yeah. It's like
Surprise
you're going
tool.
to, yeah, this is a surprise tool that will come in handy later. But know this, far travelers. The fate of the 4 tribes of the Regheds and your own destinies are intertwined. Your actions, like the small pebble cast down the mountain that begins a great avalanche. Just as the smallest stone can create a cascading wave, so too will your deeds resonate throughout the Regheds people. Remember that. Basically saying, like, this, you are a little pissed off that you have to do this journey, but she's like, listen, this is going to be very important for you guys.
If doing this will help us solve this endless winter, I'll do what it takes.
It's good to know we at least succeed.
My visions are
How often do these visions?
my visions are unclear.
Yeah.
Your destiny
I was just
is
about to
not certain.
Well, I appreciate somebody having the sense to, tell us information when they also realize that this endless winter is bad for them as well.
Dalim Fazian. As noble a Dalim that he is, he is stuck in the old ways. He has heard of my visions as well. And he knew of your arrival before you came.
This Sahir you saw in your vision.
Hmm.
Can you describe them?
She will read. She will describe it in the best that she can, because it's like unclear. It's metaphorical. All
It's
her
like
dream is
it's like seeing someone in a
metaphorical.
dream. Kind
Yeah,
of like they don't have the
it's
feature list. Kind of.
yes, sort
Yeah.
of. But she will. I'll reread the description one more time just to make sure that you're
Gotcha.
clear on it. A disembodied Sahir, shrouded in swirling shadows. Its presence was sinister and foreboding, radiating with dark magics and corruption. And then she will also say, it seemed to be in communication with the orb, channeling its wicked power.
And when she said Sahir, was it like lowercase, like any magic user, or like
Yes.
uppercase, like one of the
No.
Regheds, like one of
No.
our people?
Lowercase.
Wait, so
Again,
the
'cause-
orb.
Yep, go ahead.
So
Yeah,
the orb
let's make it real clear.
I'm just trying to make sure because was the she or whatever they the Sahir was in communication with the orb,
Yep.
channeling its wicked power.
Yep.
But earlier you said the orb was a great glowing orb shining with the brilliance of the
Yes.
sun, with the radiance of life,
Yes.
hope, and renewal.
So it seems as though those, maybe wicked is not the correct term. Let's just say channeling its power for wicked means.
Okay, so it was like corrupting the power of the orb.
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
now I see what. Okay.
If I remember correctly, it was the one of the Dalimas that was like that could be the Sahir that was like controlling like the ice and winter and everything. Maybe.
Who knows? Who knows?
All right.
Yeah, who knows? I'll give you the cliff notes of it one more time. She was in an icy cavern in the dark, and before her was this giant fucking radiating sphere, right? It was being guarded by two figures, a giant horned owl that represented, and it was possessive and greedy and covetous of this item, right? This sphere, right? And it exuded an aura of unflinching cruelty. And the other guardian was this disembodied Sahir that I just described. So disembodied magic user, quote unquote. That was channeled in communication with the orb and channeling its power. Then she saw you guys touch the orb, defeat the bad guys, touch the orb, bring back the light. But then she alluded to other things that she has seen about like how this journey is going to be important for you guys, and that the fate of the Reghed people like depends on you, and you guys don't even know it yet. She sort of sits in silence, having given you everything that she has. Maybe not everything she has, but everything she's willing to tell you now. She did say she knows exactly what you want without you even having to ask her, and she knows where it is and everything. She knows how to get there and everything, and she'll tell you, but she can't yet.
But all I can say is I respect your people greatly, Sahir, and though, as you said about Fazian, they old ways perhaps is one way to put it, but none of them seem to quite understand our plight in the way you do. So thank you.
She will explain that Fazian knows. He just is traditional. And to earn a Reghed's respect is a very fucking it's a great honor, especially for outsiders, and he thinks that he deserves it before he should help you. He's skeptical of her visions and stuff, you know?
Yeah, as much as Quintus is tempted to just make her tell us, he's come to trust diviners more over the past couple months.
Anything else you would like to say to the Sahir? No? All right, she will say, may the spirits of our ancestors guide you, and may the strength of the Reghed people flow through your veins. The journey tomorrow will be a difficult but necessary struggle for you all.
I look forward to it.
Awesome. Do you guys leave the Sahir's tent? I will also, like I said it earlier, but she is definitely blind. For sure. Like when she was talking to you, she was sort of looked off a little bit to the side. You know what I mean? Like you could tell she's blind. But you also didn't see her at the Ashara meal. She seems to be like a whole separate thing from the rest of the tribe. But you guys leave her tent. Amar is no longer.
Could I?
Yeah. Please.
Could I stay and talk to her for just one moment?
Sure. What do you want to say?
Hello. My name is V. I'm sure you know that. Or not. I don't know how these visions of yours work, but you seem to be very connected to your people's ancestors. I was just wondering, there seems to be some taboo relating to the death of powerful figures in your community. Is there anything you know about that?
You can see, because you can only see her eyes, you can see that she is sort of smiling a little bit. She will say, you speak of the artifacts and the curse that lays upon them.
Sure. Yes.
The sacred objects of the great Dalim and Dalimas of our past are buried with them. And it has been said that their spirits protect their treasured items so that none may touch them after they are laid to rest. Does this answer your question?
Well, yes, but it's not any new information. Is there a way to forgive one's transgressions if these items were touched?
It depends on the nature of the hero that you have taken it from. Some may forgive you if you return it. If it has been stolen, the object has been stolen. Some are more wrathful.
All right. Well, it seems the more wrathful ones couldn't care less. Well, that's all. I was just seeing if you had any information.
Say if one of us
Do you
came
make
across
the trip yourself?
Huh? Whoa, hold up. V, what did you say?
I was asking her, do you make the trip yourself on foot?
I am the Sahir. I am not required to walk.
Very understandable. Powerful woman such as yourself.
All right, anything else?
Seeing if anybody came across one of these artifacts.
Okay.
And they just happened to come across and come into their possession. What should one do about that?
Well, she would suggest that you don't fucking touch it. But if it's a little too late, like she said to V just now, if you return it, the spirit might forgive you. If they're more vengeful spirit, they might just curse you forever.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. Don't touch the Regheds artifacts, basically, is the lesson that you learn.
Well, nobody told me this before I touched one of them.
Yeah, you didn't know the first time, but the second time.
Yeah, if I come across another one,
Hey, I didn't even touch it.
You touched the guy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe the third time will be the charm.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Anything else for this here? Feel like she's exhausted her information. You guys leave the tent. The camp is sort of settling down for a good rest. There's a lot of people that are out, what's it called? Keeping watch, shit like that, marching, patrolling the perimeter, stuff like that. I want to like get through it because I breezed right on through a break. So I want to go ahead and end the session as soon as I can. I would like to end it at the end of the night so we can begin in the morning with the trek. So is there anything you guys would like to do tonight?
No, that's it for me.
Yeah,
Let's
Gabar,
just
you're
get a good
basically
night's sleep.
booked.
Yeah, I'm capping spell still.
Okay. The homegirl Valen will go sort of at the edge of camp and do the dome. Tariq will not. No, Tariq will join you, and he will be utterly amazed by the dome. But I think Tariq will be lonely and like sort of come up to the side of the dome and like knock on the door, sign at you guys like, "Hey, can I come in?"
Hey, you guys.
He doesn't know we can see out.
So he'll rest in the tent or in the dome with you guys. Is there anything else that you guys would like to do this night? No? All right.
I'll
go ahead.
look over at the Jihad Kala and I'll say,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Your relationship with the Jihad Kala is a little more complicated.
Relationship status, it's complicated.
Yeah, it's complicated. Yeah, but it's like the spirit of the person is in all of these artifacts. So it's the same thing. Like when you guys touched the skeleton guy that had the armor, right? He like the spirit came out and cursed V and then dissipated because he was like did his thing.
Yep.
You already fucked the pooch on it, so whatever. There's no going back from that one. But the one that's in the Jihad Kala, it's still in there. So if you come across any other legendary Reghed artifacts, there will be spirits inside of them, just so you know. Cool. You guys rest for the night.
Good to know.
Get to long rest. It's the 17th. When you wake up in the morning, let me double check the exact number of hours. I want to like make sure I got this like exact.
Nice,
That's
lucky.
a little more.
It's a 12-hour
An exhaustion
straight.
would have been terrible.
It's a 12-hour straight hike. And the Regheds, they don't move slow. In fact, if we were gonna look at like the travel pace, right, they would travel only marginally slower than a dog sled. Yeah, these motherfuckers run across the tundra. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty intense. I will
There's
say,
no way.
when you guys wake up in the morning, most of the tribe is already hard at work. They are systematically disassembling their camp. There are a couple of different things that they do. First of all, the tents are all the long sticks are removed out of the ground And the furs and all that stuff are carefully that like create the outside of the tent are carefully folded upon each other and then stuck on the sticks so that they can be like carried over the shoulder, like a hobo pack kind of thing.
Mhm.
They're like 2 Regheds can carry 2 tents together, right? Or even more. Some Regheds carry like the big boys. They carry like 3 or 4 tents on these sticks on their shoulders the entire trip.
Yeah, that's cool. This reminds me that like I took Latin in high school and we learned about Roman history, and the Roman soldiers would literally do this every day. Like every single day. They were crazy. Like they would build a whole camp. They would make like a little like gully or a ditch or whatever around it, and they do it every day. It was like when they were on campaign, obviously.
So the Regheds, they take everything else that's not a tent or like a structure of some sort and pack it into woven baskets and leather bags. And they either strap those to their backs or they do have a series of sleds that they sort of stack the baskets onto. Now, these baskets are like collapsible baskets. So they take up very little space while they're in the camp and they can bust them open, fill them with all kinds of stuff, and then 2 to 4 Regheds carry a sled at a time. They like drag it across the snow over their shoulders. The coolest thing though is you guys watched the Sahir leave her tent, right? And she sort of stands out of the snow as they start to disassemble it and they start to reassemble it into a fucking palanquin, right? Like a sedan chair, like a litter, right? Like where they carry her in a
What
basket.
the princesses wear.
Yeah, with the yes.
Yeah. Or
Yeah, so
ride in.
yes, so like there's 4 Regheds that carry just her and the tent and the shrine all like together. They pack it all up onto this palanquin. They carry it, or they carry this woman across the tundra.
Ooh.
Gonna be a
Yeah.
bumpy ride with them doing like the dance and everything.
Yeah. So, however, every other Reghed in the whole tribe, including Dalim Fazian, march. So even the Dalim and there's the little children and stuff. They're thrown into Sacagawea freaking, what are those little baby things called? Bjorns.
Goose.
Yeah, baby papoose. Yeah, they're strapped on their backs. Even like maybe like 4 or 5-year-old children are strapped onto, older people. And it's not even like their children. Like some people are carrying kids that don't even belong to them. It's just like everybody is sort of but like 6, 7, 8, those kids have to fucking march and carry baskets and stuff the whole way too. They don't fuck around. These guys are
Gabar by accident.
I was gonna I cast disguise self on myself to make myself look like a little ragged baby.
Anyway, so as the camp is being disassembled,
That's fine.
we see just the sheer like badassery of the Regheds in full tilt, and we will pick up with this 12-hour trek at a fast pace.
No, jeez,
Next session.
Fun.
Yep.
Damn.
Got
Are
like
we-
3 tricks up my sleeve, but that's it. It's not.
Are we
enough.
here
If
next
it's
week?
con saves, I might be okay.
Yeah, what's good next week? Right, somebody misses.
I think Carl had a
I'm gonna be
concert.
missing.
Is that next week?
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, that's
I'm going to a concert. Yeah.
I don't think anything major is gonna happen. You're just
Just gonna be marching?
Some of you, yes, we might have to stop though. Like I might have to cut it short until everybody can play back. Not this week. And I could stall the week of the 12th. But we might not get to play until everybody can come back for the 19th and this 26th. We'll see. I'll see how the timing goes, but I might have to stall on the 12th. Like, fucking make a session up of filler episode.
Wait,
know.
Jay, are you looking at the Mondays, not the Wednesdays?
I'm looking at the Wednesdays. 5, 12, 19, 26, right?
Oh, hold on. I was looking at June like a dumbass.
Hmm.
The numbers were like slightly off. Like it was like it lined up with all the Monday dates. So I was like,
So yeah, so we can make next week. Definitely, everyone should come. You're not gonna miss too much, Sapphire. Like you're just gonna miss the trek, and we're gonna have to fucking roll for you.
I can
So,
probably, I'll probably just be like helping out everybody where he needs to.
Yeah, it's gonna
If
get
it's just like
rough.
traveling
This
and everything
trek
like
is
that, then-
not a joke. You won't die from it, but you could possibly rack up so many exhaustions that you like have 0 movement and stuff.
Just have
I see.
Sapphira
You
roll
didn't
all of
use
the dice now.
I don't know. We'll see.
Is it? I don't know what the D&D etiquette is. Is it possible to get Eric to fill in as like Sapphira next week if Eric you're around?
Oh, he could make the rolls and stuff.
That could help.
Yeah, I could
Is
do
it-
the rolls at least.
Do you have? Is that? Are you giving permission, Carl? Is that okay if he does the rolls?
Totally.
That would help me
Yeah.
out a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. All right. Well, we'll have a stand-in for Sapphira. Good idea.
Nice.
Chris.
There we
Yeah,
go.
I don't know if that's like I don't want to volunteer someone's character, but
It's a
It's
little
just-
of
yeah,
a
it's
faux
just like
pas.
rolling all
It's
that
a
stuff
little
like
of a
that.
faux pas.
oh yeah,
But Eric's
shit.
like,
Sorry guys.
well, no, Eric's separated from the group, so it doesn't really count. You know, like
Yeah,
if one of
like-
you guys was doing the roles, it'd be a little sketchy. But Eric's like could play a whole nother character, so that's
I
perfect.
feel like I ran Haleth one time
Did
in
you?
the last campaign. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
we
just
had a
for
couple
just for basic
instances.
combats.
Yeah, for like roles and stuff. Okay, so it should be fine. It should be fine. It's not that big a deal.
Eric, you got to do your best Sapphira impressions too.
Just
I-
don't understand puns.
Exactly.
Use them, but don't know what they mean.
So we're gonna get Sapphire with the head cold then.
There we go.
That's amazing. All right, so we'll do that next week. We'll do the trek. God, guys, it's gonna be rough. Like, hopefully you'll do fine, but if you guys get a series of bad rolls, you're gonna be like totally fucked, and I don't know what you can do.
I'm nervous for V specifically.
I have inspiration and guidance.
I feel like
Not guidance,
these-
but magical guidance.
He's got
So
decent
I might
con
be
too,
okay.
right?
Yeah, is your
If there are any
con-
And
saving
I
throws, there's always
succeeded my
bonus,
roll,
so-
so
The thing is, like, as long as you don't come into it with any exhaustion, you won't die. But right, because it's 1, 2.
But you can
3,
wind up with
4,
5 levels
5.
without everything.
can wa-
Is it
I-
all ability checks too? Is it going to be a death spiral?
Oh, it could be, yeah. Yeah, it could be a death spiral for sure. Once you hit a certain point. Yeah. That's why this is not a fucking fun little trip.
Tune
in
in
the
next week
woods.
to find out.
This is
why.
gonna be insane.
cool.
Yeah.
All right.
These
if I
Regheds do
fail all
not
my
fuck
rolls
around.
and the wake up roll, then I could die.
Oh,
Yeah, and that's if you fail every single roll, which I doubt everyone's gonna fail every single roll. It's very possible though.
I mean,
Oh,
if you
wait.
fail the first roll and then have disadvantage on the rest,
I think it's no, they're not checks. It would be a saving throw.
We'll need
Yeah.
somebody to.
It'd be a saving throw. So
designated-
after 3, you start having disadvantage on, or 2, or something like that.
we'll
Oh,
need a
shit.
designated
yeah, I think it's
carrier.
3.
Yeah, 3. So it's not so bad. But it could get to that point. Yes, definitely. I already considered this.
Yeah, at that point we got to get a polymorph somebody and just carry.
That's what I was gonna say, but I can only polymorph once.
Illican has some wild shapes.
All right, well, we'll worry about that next session. Let's leave some
I,
gameplay because I
yeah.
gotta stretch these sessions out now.
I got polymorph too. Yeah.
All right, so we'll
Jay,
stretch-
did you say like you've considered this? You've thought about this
Oh, yeah.
already?
I made the whole mechanics and everything. I knew what I was when I said, "Oh shit, disadvantage on," because I was gonna make you make way more checks, but I was like, "Oh no," because then you would just die, and that's not the point. Like they're not gonna let you die. The Regheds aren't gonna let you die, but they'll let you get so fucking tired that they have to drag you back. You know, like they have to drag you with them. So
Oh no, we're 1 hour in. I'm so tired. I
Yeah.
can't.
It's like, yeah, it's just like, no, if there's like a point where you're just like too exhausted to go on, they're just like, well, time to carry you back. You gotta go the full way, buddy.
All right. Well, I will see you guys next session. I'm about to stretch these sessions out a little bit. So maybe this next session, I'm about to stretch out a little bit, and the session after that, I'm gonna stretch out a little bit, and then I can't play after that. I think until everybody is here, because there's like the next thing is a big deal.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because I'm hoping we'll just get to the island. You know, like we'll get that. Should be handled pretty
Figured out,
quickly.
yeah.
Yeah, we should have that figured out by then.
After next week, I'll be good until like September.
All right. Well, that was fun. Had a great time, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, good session. Thanks again.
boys.
That was awesome.
Yep, well, it was awesome. I'll see you guys later.
See you all
See
later.
ya.
Later.
See ya.